What's good, people? We're back again. Welcome back to 12th Man. Welcome back to the Arsenal Roundabout. We had a game last night that we're going to discuss. There's been games tonight in the Champions League, which could have a little bit of an effect on what happens with Arsenal if we are to get through. And we're going to talk about that and much more. To do that, we've got a couple of people that are a little bit late that are running and jumping on. We've got no positive Dan or Marty tonight. They've pulled out last minute. I think they've got something to do with their family. So it's going to be for the time being myself, Brandon, Sophie, and Kenny Ken. Listen, people, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, make sure you're following True Gunners TV and, of course, the Hybrid Squad and Kenny Ken on social media. And make sure that you're following our sponsors, okjersey.com. Using the code 12man, you can get any shirt that you want with any name and number on the back of it, whether it be for the World Cup or, of course, the club that you support. Doesn't have to just be Arsenal either. Big up to everyone that's here in the chat. Make sure you hit like and you've hit subscribe, please. Let me ask a question about last night. Sophie, we haven't heard from you for a while. Let me ask you, first of all, how are you?
Here to report at ease, everyone, at ease. Just so you know, I've totally decided to do everything differently this season. So I bought out all my own trophies, okay?
I love that.
To inspire the squad. Every season this time, I hide. I hide from winning. I hide from feeling. I hide from wanting. I put it all in a drawer. I hide all my trophies, my medals, all three of them. And this season, I thought, you know what? Let's whip it all out and do it a little bit differently. So here we are, Dan, reporting for duty with my trophies.
Big up to yourself. Let me ask you a question. What did you think of last night? Was it a performance that worried or concerned you at all? Was it just get the job done? Not 3 points, a 1-0 victory, first leg victory. And then, of course, we go into the second leg. Was that a professional, great away performance for you? Or was there concerns in what you saw in some of his play?
I thought it was Arsenal reverting back to the Arsenal we've seen most of the season, especially in the Champions League. I think it's undeniable, our form in the Champions League. I was curious to see how we would do in the early phases of the knockout, because with Arsenal, as you've seen in the Premier League and the table in the Champions League, when there's no pressure on and there's no spotlight, we play. We just have that mental ability to keep going. But once the spotlight is on us, what does that Arsenal look like? And I thought in Lisbon last night, we looked professional. Even when they had their moments, we managed those moments really well. And they are such a great team at home. I don't need to tell Arsenal fans their record. You guys already know that. So for me, it was not only, I've been a points versus performance person all season in the Premier League, but in the Cups, I've wanted to see something a little bit different. And considering our cup caving over the last 2.5 weeks, I thought last night was a really great performance. Go to the Emirates 1-0 up and get a late goal, become a team that believes that even until the referee blows the whistle, you have the opportunity to snatch a game. And the fact that it annoyed all of the hate watchers made me even more happy. So, yeah, I don't think we can complain about what happened last night.
Listen, I think there'll be some people that will complain because the performance in itself, in terms of how boring and tough it was to watch, was definitely that. But we got what we needed, and that was
you can complain about individual performances, but you can't complain about the result. You know what I mean? You can't complain about the results. So yeah, there are some performances that are a little bit alarming, but you also have a team where if someone's crap, other players are going to step in, and that's the type of team we've been in all season. You don't have to rely on Saka for the whole season. You don't have to rely on Odegaard. You don't have to rely on X, Y, or Z. Eze will come up in moments. Kai Havertz, Victor Gyökeres, Trossard earlier on in the season, Big Gabby. So this is the good thing about our team, Dan. This is the thing I like. You know, if one guy's down, another guy will step up, unless it's in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, of course.
Let's not go there, man. We're trying to move forwards. But Kenny, let me ask you. Last season, we actually played Sporting Lisbon and beat them 5-1. We go there this season and we get a 1-0 snatch and grab. Let's be real. They had some chances. David Raya, for me, easily player of the match. I mean, I don't think we speak about how well he's done and how we've missed him in the last few games, really, with old pig in goal, as I call him. But look, I think I'll be real with you. David Raya, it wasn't just his performance that was good, it was actually the result, and that for me was what I'll take from this positive to move forward in it. But any thoughts on last night, brother?
Look, during the course of the game, I would have been happy with 0-0. But if I was a Sporting Lisbon fan, I'd be gutted, man, because they missed a trick, man. They played right into our hands. The way to beat us is to play that fast tempo, get the bodies forward. Declan Rice, man, had a nice little break yesterday. He was looking a bit knackered, man, and his hand in his haunches. But the way they were playing, measured playing low buck, complete into our hands. Didn't like we were going to break the deadlock. Good play from Martinelli. Good hold-up play from Gyökeres, taking a couple of players with him, and then Havertz was all under pressure. But I have to admit, Dan, when we first signed Raya, I knew he was a very good goalkeeper, but I was wrong. And last season, I thought he was close to being a world-class goalkeeper. Today, I learnt something new about Raya. And his teammates and the manager have said it. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We got 90-carat gold in our hands, and if we win anything this season, the player of the season has to be him. He's the one. He's been consistent from start to finish. When they say a goalkeeper, saves you 12 to 15 points, that's him. That's him. I think when you talk about our improvement as a team that challenged the trophies, he's the one of the main reasons why we're at that level, and for his sake, I just hope we do win the league, because it'd be because of him. Because a lot of players haven't turned up. We had a lot of injuries. The star players, star captain, flat to be deceived. They've had injuries, but he's always maintained his levels. All right, I hear what you guys said about the Carling Cup and the FA Cup, but you know the situation, Dan. We can't get away from that. If you sign an international number 2, he's going to play the cup games. That was a non-argument. But this guy, one of the best players in the world in terms of his position. Defensively, though, Benjamin White can't defend to save his life. He was in a lot of situations where his team had to back him up. I thought Saliba and Gabriel weren't themselves. I mentioned Declan, Zubimendi. I thought in the second half he's played really well. And I thought Trossard just dibbly-dobbly, innit? Just a dibbly-dobbly.
I love that word, man. Dibbly-dobbly, man. You're never going to let that, man. Everyone says it.
The reason why you call someone like that dibbly-dobbly is because you know that when you've got a player who's not good at everything he does, but he's good at everything, but he never masters his trade, but he's effective, you get a good performance, then you get that performance. And that's why, to nick a cricketing term, he's a dibbly-dobbly. That was a dibbly-dobbly performance. Didn't hurt anyone, but Martin Odegaard, congratulations. You've mastered the art of doing a lot without doing nothing. I didn't think I was on a football pitch until Southampton and yesterday. As I said, Martin Odegaard, take a bow, mate.
I actually, for a split second, thought you were genuinely being serious about praising him.
I'll tell you one thing, that is an art in itself, but he's mastered it. Well done, because I've learnt something today. There are players like that who can do a lot without doing anything.
Look, I'll be real with you. I think you're right to mention Odegaard. You're also right to mention Raya for two very different reasons. I don't know who's better than Raya. You can throw names at me, maybe Courtois, maybe some think Donnarumma, maybe some people still think Alisson. What I will say is that he's in the bracket of those names now at the very bare minimum. I think he's been consistent for at least 3 years now. And I think he's been one of Arsenal's best players in the last 3 years, if I'm honest with you. And we all know what happened when Aaron Ramsdale was bombed out. A lot of people thought it was a little bit harsh. And I've got to be honest, I thought it was a little bit harsh personally. I don't think he was the main issue. But you can look back now and say that he's absolutely levels on Ramsdale, who I still think is an okay goalkeeper. So that just gives you a
that was me hiding, Dan. Hiding.
Yeah, look, I was the same. Judges was the same. We all liked what Aaron did. We all liked what Aaron did. But let's be real. Like David Raya's just levels, isn't he? I don't know what you think, Stricto. You've come dressed as the ref tonight, so I don't know if you think it's going to be heated or what. But big up to you, bruv. What did you make of last night? Is it just about getting it across the line last night because of what happened in the last 2 FA Cup and Carabao Cup games, or did you think that was a bit of a worrying performance still in parts last night, bruv?
Bro, I get ref, I get Beetlejuice. I don't know. All right, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, that game yesterday. You think about, as you said, like we haven't had the last 2 results on our side, and you look at like the April sort of like how Arsenal get on in April. It's not really good. I looked at the stats. It was 41% of our wins in April, which is the lowest out of any month that we play. And then we play Southampton, which is the first game of April, and we lose that game. And then you think, gosh, away, Portugal, again, another stat that doesn't go in our favor. I don't think we've won in Portugal in the knockout stages. So with that being said, bro, the win was the win. We needed that win. Sporting have a very good record at home. They've been solid at home. And I think it was, if we have to look at it like this, they had home advantage. It was there for them. The onus was on them to play and get the result, and then hopefully nick something at Emirates. Well, we've turned that on its head and got the last minute goal and won. And I agree with what Kenny's saying. Actually, I think there's a few individual performances that, yeah, I think the least said the better. Especially come this business end of the season. I want to see more from our skipper. That clip I've seen of Declan Rice, and it's been the issue I've been saying. We get the ball and we just never look forward. And I'm so glad we saw that little clip with Declan Rice actually highlighting that, because how the fuck can you attack when you're always passing back and inevitably inviting pressure? It's not like we're setting traps where we pass back just to pass forward, like get them a bit confused and make space. We just pass back, and before you know it, the ball's back at Raya's feet or back at Saliba's feet or Gabriel. Nothing goes forward, and I'm so happy Declan highlighted that. Like he kept telling him, bro, there's space. Literally look, there's space for you to turn and go. 3 times he gave back the ball to him, and those have been an issue we've had. It's not just been Odegaard, it's been Zubimendi. At times, it's been our centre backs. It's been Saliba. And it's it annoys me because we have the opportunity to play football, and sometimes I don't think it's the manager's instruction. I know we say here, Arteta has been quite conservative with the way we play, but you see what Declan Rice was saying to Odegaard, so it can't be the manager's instruction if the players are getting annoyed with other players for not looking forward and turning it round. Now, I will say again what Kenny Ken said. I think we have the best goalkeeper in the world. I don't care what nobody tells me. I know you say he's on par with Donnarumma. I think he surpasses Donnarumma. I really do think. I think overall, he does way more than what Donnarumma does for the height Donnarumma has. For instance, coming for corners, coming for crosses. Like Donnarumma is quite suspect with that. Raya isn't, though he's slightly considerably shorter than Donnarumma. Now that is an Arteta call. Can we get some ratings for Arteta? Because listen, he gets a lot of pelters for when he gets things wrong, but to bring in David Raya when Aaron Ramsdale was hands down fans' favorite. Every keeper that Arteta has replaced the previous keeper with has shown levels. Ramsdale.
I'll just cut in for 1 minute. Sorry, I don't normally do this, but I'm taking marks of Arteta for not putting him in goal earlier. So he's getting an A- for not putting him in goal earlier.
But bro, he's brought him here. He's brought him here, and he's improved on every goalkeeper he's brought in. Whether it was Ramsdale for Leno, and then now Raya for Ramsdale. And each time he made those changes, we always disgruntled. Like, what you doing here? Like, what's going on here? But it just proves that he knows his beans. And essentially that's what got us the win. Some of the saves yesterday was incredible. Like the one against the crossbar. Like I didn't even think he saved that. I thought that hit the crossbar. It was a parry to the crossbar. But that's not that's something we've seen from him all season. I think about the save against Brighton from Yakuba Minte at Emirates. That goes in, and we've drawn that game. He's hands down been one of our most consistent players. I think there are other players there as well. I think I'd like to say Big Gabby, probably Declan Rice as well, but we'll have to wait till the end of the season. But I think yesterday we just had to get a win, and we did. And we basically, I wouldn't say it was a smash and grab. I think second half we did improve. I think we did deserve to win the game, and we came away with that, and then on to the Emirates, and hopefully we can seal the deal there.
I hope we can. I did say this would be a similar result to the Leverkusen away, and I think we'll beat them at the Emirates. I did not expect to take I keep saying 3 points, but you know what I mean. I didn't expect to win over there last night, and I was very pleased that we did. I actually felt they were quite good and had some good chances against us. If I'm honest, I think David Raya, we mentioned him because he made good saves. I'll be honest with you. I think we should be beating them. I think we should be, and I definitely think we should be at the Emirates. Brandon, let's turn it up a little bit, shall we? The heat, because you mentioned something to me last night, and a few people have said this after the defeat against Manchester City, and of course the defeat being knocked out against Southampton. That's 2 cups in 2 weeks that we went out. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that were in meltdown. I'm not going to lie. I was one of them. And there's a lot of the stuff that was said in relation to the manager. Now, there's a few people that have messaged me that have said this on other streams that I don't really know of, these content creators, and I've heard them say it on TikTokers have said it, that even if we win the league now, he's got to go. They've seen enough. They don't like what we are. They don't believe the mentality is good enough long term. They're worried long term. They don't think if we win it this time that we'll dominate and we'll kick on. I'm not in that boat. I've got to be honest with you, but I know that you mentioned it, and then some of the others. I know DJB is one of them that's mentioned it, and there's a few other people that have as well. They're just not liking what they see from the manager, and they don't believe that the style of play is good enough and that we can sit here long term and have Mikel Arteta potentially go and dominate. I've got to be honest. I do think if he wins, he's got to stay. But if he doesn't, he's got to go. But you're on the kind of side of the fence that even if he wins something, you've seen enough. Am I right in saying that, Brandon?
I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's a little bit harsh.
Go on.
Basically, the gist of what I said is I've recently changed my mind after the cup competition performances. Now, there's still room for me to change my mind again, but for me to change my mind again, that would mean us winning the Champions League. I'll explain it, right? I said that even if we win the league, I would still look to move Mikel Arteta on ready for next season. If he is replaced with a top manager, i.e., in my opinion, someone like a Luis Enrique, who, by the way, I think is attainable. I think he is attainable. You look at Arsenal, look at the squad that we've got now, coming off the back of, let's hypothetically say we win the league, yeah. We pay managers big money. Mikel Arteta's on 15 million a year, and my whole reasoning behind it is we've got the duck off our back of 22 years without a league title. I think the next step for Arsenal is to go and get a manager who can be a serial winner at the football club. And the best example I can give you is Roberto Mancini won Man City their first league title. Pep Guardiola came in and has been a serial winner at Manchester City. I don't think personally that Arteta is the man to be a serial winner at Arsenal. And I think 6 years of no trophy suggests that. I think if we can go and get another manager, a better manager, then I would look to move him on in the summer. And that's not me saying, the league title's not good enough. I'm just saying the next step for Arsenal is to become serial winners. And the reason why the cup competitions changed my mind is because it's very hard to retain a league title, right? There's not many teams that have done that. So I wouldn't even be expecting necessarily Arsenal to retain a league title because that's difficult to do. I think after the fact as well that this squad has spent the past 3 years having to get up for it again and again and again, along with the 2-3 years of disappointment of narrowly missing out. I think if we was to win it this year, he would find it extremely difficult to get this squad up for it again next season. So I'd be looking to see what Arsenal can do in the cup competitions next season more than necessarily the league. And I think Arteta's failings in the cup competitions in particular, and when you look at the teams that we've gone out to over the years, etc., I don't think that fares well for us next season, right? I also look at this squad, and I think there's very important decisions that need to be made in the summer, i.e. Kai Havertz has 2 years left on his contract. Martin Odegaard has 2 years left on his contract. There's a couple of other players with 1 year left on their contract. Now, that means that Arsenal either have to extend their contracts or move them on. And in my opinion, Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Martinelli in particular are 3 players that need to be moved on. Now, 2 of them 3, Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard, are 2 favourites of Mikel Arteta. And therefore, I see them both getting a contract extension if he is in charge of the decision making, which he would be, right? Because Andrea Berta is in charge of transfers, right? He is. But the manager has more of a say on who stays at the football club. And because Kai Havertz and Odegaard are 2 of his favourites, I believe that we would see them with a contract extension, and that would actually set the football club back. I also think as well, and this is going to sound a bit more harsh, right? I look at Arne Slot, for example, and I've asked this question to many people as well. Do you think Arne Slot is a good manager? Right? In my opinion, this season suggests that Arne Slot is not as good a manager as what people think he was. Therefore, I come back to the conclusion that Liverpool won the league last season because they had no real challenger. Now, a similar thing could be said for Arsenal. Yeah, we didn't expect Liverpool to have the fall off that they've had. Man City were in a transitional period. You know, we've had 6 years under this manager. We've spent over £1 billion. We've got deep squad depth now, full of quality. So although we didn't think we was going to be in this position in the beginning of the season, gradually as the season's gone on, you know, we're in this position, and I expected us to be a lot more comfortable in this position rather than limping over the line. So I can sit there and sort of see comparisons to Arteta and Slot in the sense that, are we winning this league because we deserve to? Yes, there's elements of that. But are we mainly winning this league, because we haven't had no real challenger? I would put that up there with that as well. And I can see there being a small fall off for Arsenal. And it's not necessarily all to do with the manager, right? I think there's issues with players. You know, you look at our best players, for example, Bukayo Saka. I don't think Bukayo Saka is going to be the same Bukayo Saka. I genuinely don't. I haven't seen anything to suggest that. I think he's a very injury-prone player now. He's had big injuries, yeah? Even if Odegaard stays, he's had big injuries. You know, Ben White's got to leave because he, a couple of seasons ago, was probably arguably the best right-back in the league. But injuries has affected him as well. Urian Timber, he's become very injury-prone as well. Calafiori plays about 4 or 5 games and then he's injured. You know, injury problems are going to have an effect on Arsenal as well. So recruitment's going to be very important. And I just feel that this squad of players, to get them up for it again, I think they're going to need a new voice in that dressing room. And I think that new voice has to be somebody who has won multiple trophies. And that's just my opinion.
Look, I think
maybe it's too early to have the conversation done, but you know.
No, look, I think you've articulated it very well. I don't think you've gone in there saying, get this manager out, just want someone better, like I've heard some people say. Look, Sophie, I know you held your hands up and said, I kind of said it the other day as well. I don't know if you believe in it now.
Oh, no, caveat. With a caveat.
Explain.
Okay, so the caveat is only if the players can't work with him, or the voice is, as Brandon and Albert said a few months ago, and I did, you know, questioning if players are tired of his voice. Now, you would argue they're not because of the way they are performing. I think the cup games have given us and reminded us of our PTSD. And if we're going to be honest, like, I've backed him and this team all season with the way we're playing. I care less how we win the title. I just want to win the title. I'll worry about champagne football next season. I'll stick to my blue collar strategy right now. Roll your sleeves up and just win this title. If by the end of the season it's become so exhaustive that the players are done, and I don't think the scenario that anybody's really talking about is maybe Mikel's done. This has been an exhausting journey. Process, check the box. Progress, check the box. Well, now it needs to lead to success, right? All of this investment, you have to get some ROI. And maybe if he does deliver the Premier League, maybe he walks. This is intense stuff. Like, it takes your soul being a manager of a Premier League club. And think about what Arsenal have gone through, the ups and downs, all of the narrative, the media. He looks exhausted. I was saying to Kenny, I messaged him, I said, Arteta looks absolutely spent. Like, when he sat there with his blue tracksuit on the other day, I felt like making him a lemsip or a cup of tea. He looked knackered. So for me, the only scenario that would make sense is if there's an issue with him and the players. And sometimes you can walk off a hero and deliver the trophy and put it under your arm and move on. Unlike when Arsene Wenger didn't know when it was time to move on. But also, if you do win the Premier League, he's probably thinking the other flip side, if he's not exhausted, is this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of my potential dynasty. But seeing as it took 20 plus years to win one, I think we need to calm our jets a little bit about becoming serial winners, because we've seen in modern day sports, it's not easy. Liverpool and Manchester City have been dominating. Chelsea have fallen off the cliff. Manchester United, I think, might come back a little bit, next season with the investments that they're going to make. But winning isn't easy. And also, look at, hold on one second. The only manager I would want is Jurgen Klopp. The only manager that should come in, and Luis Enrique, I hear this a lot, and Luis Enrique is a great manager. But if you want someone to pick up Arsenal with the style of football most Arsenal fans want, with the enthusiasm, with the credibility, the ability, the pedigree, all of it, and you really want to become a serial winner and take this to another level, Jurgen Klopp is the guy. As the Kroenkes are businessmen, you just got to figure out the art of the deal. You get him in a room and you make him an offer that he can't refuse. People are motivated by money these days. We've seen managers, even from our own club, manage our fiercest rivals. So this whole thing, I don't want to manage any other club other than Liverpool. We've seen that go down the toilet pretty quickly when someone writes a check for 20 million. So that's how I feel about Arteta and who comes in next. Give me someone like Klopp before you remove someone like Mikel Arteta.
Mm-hmm. I do also feel that style of play, and people keep saying this, right? It's because you don't like the way that we're winning. No, it's got nothing to do with that. This season was always about, doesn't matter how we win, just win. Yeah, that's what this season was always about. The thing is I don't trust that once he's done it once, winning that way, that we're now all of a sudden going to become this free-flowing...
Well, the 23-24 season proves that we can be free-flowing Arsenal.
We can be.
We can be.
I don't think he will be, because...
But he's been dictated. Do you think he's been dictated to by the way the game has gone? And also, I think because of some of the things that we've... in the fashion that we've lost, like the last-minute goal at the Etihad... is when really things started to change. I think when Mikel was starting to think about, how do I play not to lose a game versus how to win a game?
I do agree. I just think, again, football changes throughout the years. And I do think that if we go in, I think Arteta is the type of guy who's gone, cool, I've won playing this way, I'm going to try and play this way again, rather than transitioning into a more free-flowing, more attack-minded Arsenal. Because we talk about us having PTSD. I think he's got PTSD as well from 2020.
100%. Of course he has. How can you not? The responsibility is all on him. And by the way, I'm not poo-pooing Luis Enrique either. I will have him in a heartbeat, of course.
So I can't really see him doing anything.
Brendan, I think you're being disingenuous with what you said in regards to us winning the league would be because of not having any challenges. I mean,
I think it plays a part, though, Strickland. I think it does play a part.
Why do we give a fuck
about
about
that either?
When Man City won the league in 2021, they won it 12 points. Not one person said there was no challenges. Everybody accepted this is the new era of football. Man City are taking over.
They just lauded them, didn't they? That they were this machine.
Exactly. And with 12 points. So why can't we get that respect, Brendan? Like, I don't understand. You've moved the goalposts. If we don't win the league, we've lost the league many a times, by literally challenging Man City so close. Last season, we lost the league because what you can say whatever, that Liverpool were the better team and they won the league. End of. Yeah. I'm not trying to hear this thing of, if we win the league, it's because there was no challenges. I don't give a fuck. I know I say a lot of people on the panel seems to come here with agendas. If Arteta win Arsenal the league, that is, for me, the best he can do. Let's carry on. Having this conversation when we are where we are right now is crazy to me about bringing in Luis Enrique, bringing in this manager. When the manager we currently have is learning on the job, learning very quick. Very, very quick. Who in their right mind would have thought Arsenal would be challenging, let alone be in this position 3 consecutive seasons in a row? I don't quite get the whole narrative of Arsenal winning the league is because there's no challenges. Seems to me you've moved the goalpost again because the start of the season is
not at all.
What do you mean? Not? I've literally heard you say if he doesn't win the league, he's got to go.
My point. I've already explained my point. I'm talking about Arsenal taking the next step now. I don't believe Arteta.
But how can a man win the league and you're trying to compare him? You're already comparing him to Arne Slot of this season. You're already on a down already. Like all
I'm saying,
right now
I'm saying there's similarities there
there's no similarities.
Liverpool. Yeah, there is. There's similarities there between Liverpool last season.
Next season hasn't started. Next season hasn't started. That's why it's an agenda because the season hasn't started. Hold on a second, Brendan. You're comparing him to Arne Slot. Arne Slot won the league last season. And already you're saying if Arsenal win the league, we're going to go in the same trajectory as Liverpool and Arne Slot. That is an agenda.
I never said that. I said I believe it is a possibility. And then I laid out reasons why. Not just the manager, by the way.
What about the other possibility?
The players, etc.
What about the other possibility that we could win the league this season and win the league next season? What about that possibility?
There is a possibility that we could do that, absolutely. But I think 6 years of no trophy suggests that that's a very unlikely scenario. And the fact that there's very few teams that have gone on and retained the Premier League title. Yeah, it's very difficult to do, Stricto. I accept that. I absolutely accept that retaining a Premier League title is difficult. But the reason why I'd move on Arteta is because I'd be looking at cup competitions. He ain't been good enough in cup competitions, mate.
All right.
Yeah, and this is why I say he can. He still has room to change my mind, by the way, because if we win the Champions League this season, then I'll say fair play. We keep him. Absolutely.
Right, cool. Only trophy he's won, by the way, is a cup competition. And then secondly, to say the players don't believe in him, literally every single player is renewing their contract. Literally, that is.
I didn't say the players don't believe in him either.
I don't know. Maybe someone else said it, but every single player in that squad is renewing their contract. Every single player, whether it's Saka, Big Gabby, Saliba, all the players.
I would renew it too if I was offered 350 G's a week.
Well, you could get that somewhere else. Yeah. You can get that. You can get that somewhere else. You know, you can get that somewhere else. But at the end of the day,
somewhere else.
Yeah, you know, Stricto, can I just say something real quick? I want my players, of course, I want them signing for the manager, but you want players signing for the club. This isn't Mikel Arteta FC. This is Arsenal FC. And I've supported Mikel a lot and I've stood up for him. But at the end of the day, Arsenal will be okay if Mikel leaves. And we will go on and the club will survive. Players need to sign for the club and the manager is the vehicle to hopefully get them there. Of course, you have to have a manager that entices players to sign. They're the roadmap, they're the vision. But you also, it has to be 50-50. They have to want to sign for Arsenal Football Club. Do you want Declan Rice signing for Mikel Arteta or do you want him signing for Arsenal Football Club?
Well, Mikel Arteta is a big part of that because the manager has to speak.
But he's not Arsenal Football Club.
Hold on a second, Sophie. I mean, what you're saying, you're taking away the fact that every player that has ever signed for every club usually has to talk to the manager and say,
of course, but we're talking about now. We're talking about the next phase of Mikel's reign. We're not talking about brand new stuff. He's been here 6 years, so we're talking about this window of a contract and what's coming next. Right? You have to be really sure that I'll give you a scenario, Sophie.
If you remember a few seasons ago, we had Granit Xhaka, a player that most of us wanted out of this club, me included, and he stayed because of the manager, not because of the club. He fucked off the club, by the way. Yeah, the manager convinced him to stay, and he went on to have the best seasons he ever had at Arsenal. So the manager does play a big part. Let's not.
Of course, he plays a big part. He
club,
does.
The club is one entity, right? The club is one entity, but the personal relationships, the same way other
But you've
players,
got a problem now with our players going to want to sign up to play this brand of football.
But this brand of football is an anomaly. Let's not act like this is how we've been playing.
You don't know that. You absolutely do not know that.
We know that because we can look at past seasons and say we've never played like this before.
Last season, how did we play?
Not only that, though,
like this before.
Just real quick, yeah. You're right. The manager definitely plays a part in convincing players to sign new contracts, convincing players to come in the door. But let's not forget, Arsenal Football Club paid big wages, my friend. Yeah, Calafiori went from 45 grand to 100 and whatever he's on now. We always pay big money to any player that comes through that door. Madueke went from 50 grand to 150 grand. You know, so we do entice them in that sense as well. And this is where I'm saying, like, it's important now because we have got a lot of players within this squad that we all agree need to be moved on. Gabriel, Jesus, you know, I can go down the list. But there are also players that are coming towards the end of their contract, and it's a case of do you sell them or do you renew their contract? And players on big wages as well. Then you've got the other added factor as well, like there's quite a lot of these players that have been here since Arteta came in, i.e. Gabriel, Saliba. You know, if they win the Premier League this season, they might see that as job done and go, do you know what? I'm finished now. You know, I've won my trophy at Arsenal, wanted to win the trophy at Arsenal. Real Madrid's come calling. Maybe it's time to go. You know, look at that scenario as well.
Yeah, but again, you're looking at the negative side. This is what about the other scenario? They just signed a contract this season. Those two players that you've named, they've literally just signed a 3 to 4 year contract this season. Now, I'm not saying contract can't be broken, but at the end of the day, let's not minimize the impact. And that doesn't just, it's not just Arteta, by the way, but any manager that runs a football club, that runs the team, they have a great input into the players that come in.
I think Berta's had a really great input in last window, and also, and I'm not poo-pooing. I'm not poo-pooing Mikel. Just he also convinced Eddie Nketiah to stay on 6 figures. Yeah. So it works both ways, right? It can be hit and miss. This is why you need a Berta, a strong character in that business who knows this business, all right, and the club, and then the manager. And you know, I trust me, I don't want to be a Chelsea model at all, but it is a combination, and sometimes it has worked with the manager, and sometimes it hasn't.
Let me just ask Stricto a real quick question, right? And I want an honest answer out of this.
Go on.
Obviously, we've got Andrea Berta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Them contract renewals that happened in the summer with, I can't even remember who renewed their deal with Gabriel, Saliba, Saka.
Yeah.
And I think there was one other as well. Was it Timber? Might have been Timber. But anyway.
Who have done what, Brandon? What are you asking?
Who renewed their contracts in the summer? Just gone.
Miles Lewis Skelly, Waneri, Big Gabby, and Saliba. And then Saka just recently, yeah.
And this is why I say that I think Berta's maybe slightly more I know he's the manager, but he's maybe slightly more important in terms of the negotiations of who comes in and who goes out. Because if I could take you back to, if that was Edu and Arteta negotiating them contracts compared to Berta negotiating them contracts, how many of them contracts do you actually think would have got over the line, Stricto?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't think there would have been many. I think
I don't know. Like it doesn't matter to me really, because who was responsible for Pepe coming? Was that Edu?
Pepe was prior to Arteta, and
was that Edu?
That was Raul Sanlehi and Husfani.
Okay. No, the honest answer to that is I don't know. You put money in anyone's face, they'll take it. Doesn't matter who's negotiating it. If you put more money on the table for someone, they're going to take it. So I really don't know. I don't know if the question is if
I think we've moved away from the question a bit now. But I think for me, let me just give my 2 pence worth. I'll come with Kenny in this as well. if Arteta wins the league, he's going to stay, and I think he should stay. If I'm brutally honest, I appreciate what you're saying, Brandon, and I think we're looking long term, and that could be a good question and a debate. But I don't think you can sack the manager if he's won the league. Now, I do think that you are right to say that in the long term, can Arsenal go on and dominate, and can they play this blitzing football that's going to allow us to go 3s, 4s, and 5s past teams? And I really don't know if the answer to that is yes. I think what we're all hoping and not really believing, if we're brutally honest with ourselves, is that Arteta to go back to the 22-23 season. The problem I think we've got with that, and I think Kenny will probably agree with me, and I'll let him come in next. I don't think he wants to do that because he had such PTSD when he did it last in 22-23 and 23-24 that he's now completely gone to a compact, let's just not lose in games if we're not very good and try and win 1-0, as opposed to let's go and have a go and let's see if we can put 2 or 3 past this team. Now, we have done it in certain games this season. People will bring up the games, I'm sure. We all know what ones they were. Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and Milan in the Champions League, and then Tottenham home and away, of course, Leeds home and away. But really and truly, after Tottenham and Leeds home and away, how many teams have we blitzed? We beat Sunderland 3-0 at home, which was quite convincing. I'm struggling now. So I don't know if he will change his ways because I feel like he'll double down if he wins this way. And I don't know if that's maybe a conversation for next season because obviously this season we've got to see what he can do. But I do think that long term there could be a bit of an issue. But Kenny, I'll let you come in on this, mate.
Well, first and foremost, let's not forget, people seem to forget that everyone talks about this great football we played in 23-24. We actually started the season playing the way we are playing now. It was only after defeats to West Ham, Fulham, dropping further down the league that the shackles came off. They went to Dubai. Declan Rice. We realised that Declan Rice can actually cross a ball. We had the set piece. Guru taking over proceedings, and we started to play really good football. And then when we played Man City, we reverted to type, play conservatively, and then. But we responded after we lost to Villa, played some good football. The season afterwards, that's the way we played. I do believe that Mikel Arteta is at the end of the road, mentally, he's taking the players as far as he can go. We're always we always go from one stream to another because the reason we go from north to south is that we haven't been playing well since November, but it might be just good enough because we have got this fantastic cushion. Obviously, we built ourselves. Man City probably haven't been good enough to take advantage. But the fact is, we're looking at certain players that need to be moved on. We're looking at the young players as well. My issue is the young players. Well, has Mikel got the time to bring on the Max Diamonds, the Miles Lewis Skellys, the Nwanieris, forward? Or is he going to be in a situation where he's going to be under so much pressure that he isn't going to be able to bring these players on? Because we want Max Diamond to come on. We want Max Diamond to develop. I'm not sure under Mikel Tuchel that's going to happen. I think that the way football is at this time, is probably about right. He's had 7, but there have been instances this season where I have my doubts about Mikel as a coach, about whether to change his ways, because I've looked at what he can do with his first choice players. But when I see the second 11, I saw, even though you can talk about Southampton to cows come home, but I didn't see a plan. I saw players who were making up as they were going along when we against Southampton. Now, this is a manager that's been in 7 years. I still see an inexperienced manager that struggles to be able to work with his second-string players. He struggles to bring on young players. That the players that we saw develop last season were played because of necessity, because of injuries. So I do have my doubts, and it's not personal. Let me get this out thing. It's not personal, but I do think there is going to be a time where there has to be life after Mikel. But granted, Stricto, it has to be elite. Arsenal have to be elite, ready for an elite manager. None of this trust the process, guys, because we've got a situation where these guys. Granted,
we're not hearing trust the process still, are we? From some of the fans,
I mean, it's not a case of trust the process. We now got players who played.
Please, we're not hearing that again. Crikey.
Yeah, but we've got players who played in cup finals. We've got players who've changed for the league. So if they don't get over the line, or the players taken as far as they can go, an elite manager does have the chance with these fulcrum of players to take us to the next level. Can Mikel do it? I think he'll want to do it, but I think mentally up there he's tired, and I do think that I do worry about his lack of plan B. But it is valid for the consensus of opinion to be that Mikel's probably had enough, and he might throw in the towel. He doesn't have to earn, £20 million a year. Once you're gone, you're gone. You £20 million a year, you won't have to work again anyway, or find another gig anyway. But Arsenal will survive. But this season, if Mikel wins the league, congratulations to him. He's done it his way. But
exactly. And if you're going to replace him, then this is the best time to replace him, because the squad's at the top.
Exactly, and that's the thing. We don't want to go down Arsene Wenger's route. Everyone says that Arsene Wenger didn't know the time to retire. Arsene Wenger outstayed his welcome because he was obsessed with making sure he won the Champions League. What happened in 2006 in Paris, he's never got over that, and he wanted at least one more stab at it. Unfortunately, we gave him 12 more stabs, and it got more embarrassing. That's why Arsene Wenger stayed on, because of his obsession with the Champions League. But in terms of Mikel, look, the club will be fine with or without Mikel. But if he gets us winning the league, he'll deserve every credit in the bank. He'll go down in the records as a very good Arsenal manager, a great Arsenal manager because he's won the league. But there has to be time where the players do need another voice. And I tend to be on that consensus of opinion that he can win the league. I'll praise him. I'll thank him. But I would want us to move the dial and start moving to that next process of domination and challenge on a regular basis. And
Kenny, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question real quick? Hi, Lee, by the way. Bonjour. Welcome. What would you say if I said to you the succession plan would be more in the mold of Cesc Fabregas than...
I'm not having that man at this club.
Out of all the people you could have mentioned.
No. Wait. I'm not suggesting him. As you know, Kenny, I am not suggesting Cesc Fabregas as my choice. You guys heard my choice. Break the bank and convince Jurgen Klopp to come to Arsenal if you want serial winners. Okay, Luis Enrique. But my what I see from what I can gather, our culture, our philosophy, I think we might be sold on someone like him being the successor.
I agree.
Keeping it in the mold. I'm not saying it's my choice.
No, but don't you think it defeats the purpose? Because first and foremost, I don't want Francesc Fabregas in my club. That guy, Francesc Fabregas, spat and basically treated my club like a dirty towel, like a towel having my bathroom that I step on after I dry my feet. He treated the club like a dirty towel. Francesc Fabregas, under my tutor list, will not be allowed to be manager of this club. Another reason why I do not want Francesc Fabregas at the club is because we have rallied against trust the process manager. The way Francesc Fabregas wants to play, he wants to move the dial and play this kind of football in utopia. Now, to play his football in utopia, he's going to need his own players. He may look at these players and say, no, I can't work with him, I can't work with him. So we're going to have another situation where we've got to trust another process after winning the league.
I think it's a distinct possibility that something like that would happen.
Yeah, and what will happen, I can guarantee you that if we get a manager like Francesc Fabregas, it'll be another situation where we're going to have to be told to be patient over winning the league, and there'll be no domination. We might win an old cup here, but says Francesc Fabregas, over my dead body, is a trait like that coming to my football club. He won't be allowed.
Let's be real, Kenny. Right? Let's be real for a second, right? Before I bring the boys in, because we were talking about Fabregas. Stricto looks like he's ready to just give up after that point, right? Because for me, I actually kind of think I agree.
I think he used to be the referee right now.
Yeah, Stricto's got the ref top on, man. I did say this, but I'll be real. Cesc Fabregas coming in, I just think, if I'm honest, he might as well just keep Arteta, because I don't think you're upgrading massively. I think you're taking a risk there. I like
that. Was my follow-up question: is would you just rather, keep with the guy who's hopefully delivered you the title.
Yeah, because look, I sometimes you might need a different voice. Sometimes you might need a different voice, and Fabregas might come in and give a different voice. And I like the way
this is Arsenal.
But really, I want to see a winner. My point is, I want to see a winner, guys. I don't want to see another guy who's learning on the job.
Don't get Fabregas in the club then.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't get him in. I
get that, but then that's also catch-22 as well. Because then how long is too long for Mikel Arteta? Do you know what I mean?
Look,
how long is too long?
He's not doing 20 years. There's going to be a situation where he's going to do what Klopp did and say, I can't go any longer, because the situation, the way football management is at this stage, it is much more intense than it was.
I think there's more chance of him saying, "Look, I'm leaving now because we've run out of biro pens at the Emirates Stadium for me to train with." So.
No. That Brandon, you're missing the point now. We got a situation, and Sophie will agree with me on this. When you got an ostentatious CEO, which we have in Berta, and you've got a big name manager in Arteta, that relationship is not tenable for a long time. Because there is going to be a clash. And you know what's happened. Whenever the manager feels he's not getting enough control and he's not getting the eye of the owner, the manager goes and the CEO stays.
Berta's been brought in for that. He's not afraid to do the dirty work, is he? That's why he's there.
Well, no, I agree with that. Do you think, before I bring Lee and Strick, do you think it's madness to talk about a successor at this stage of the season?
Robert, it's so crazy. I'm just listening to you lot, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you lot talking about? Respectfully. And it's not even an Arteta thing.
Right, it's business. It's a business. You have to have succession plans. If you want success, a business has years of a business plan. It's not stupid conversation to suggest that people's opinions are stupid, because they're not. We're having a conversation, a hypothetical conversation about what could potentially happen. Mikel could walk away himself at the end of the season. He could be given a new contract. We don't know the relationship between him and the players, if that's strong enough to keep going. It's not a stupid conversation at all.
Sophie, I said, I don't know what the fuck you lot are talking about.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, Lord. What's going on, Sophie?
No, what's going on with you?
I don't think I've ever heard you swear, by the way.
Sophie's on smoke.
I don't think I've ever
heard explain why you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, Strick. Go on, explain why you don't know.
Where's my whistle?
To suggest you don't know what the fuck we're talking about suggests that it's stupid. It's silly. It's just a silly comment.
I think the problem is the Stricto's not ready for this conversation, right? And that's fair. Some people are not.
It's business. It's business.
Some people are not ready for the conversation, right? But at some point, this conversation has got to happen.
This is the problem. It's like even people like me who support Mikel right now. Okay,
it's mistimed. The conversation is so mistimed. Like, we've just had a victory last night. We've got a game against Bournemouth. I'm here. We're talking about succession.
What are you going to talk about? The same boring tactics we've been seeing all season. That's not going to change.
It's crazy to me. It's respectfully, I'm going to use the word that you use. Stupid talk. I don't care who's offended by it. It's stupid talk. Why are we having this conversation? Like, I don't get. I never want to say.
I'll explain. Mikel Arteta has been at the club.
I know what you're saying.
But hold on, you don't understand. So I was trying to help you understand.
I just think it's ridiculous. Maybe that's a.
What was it I said in particular that was ridiculous to you?
Oh, Sophie, I didn't single you out. I said the conversation that everyone here is having is the word I used. I didn't single you out. Do you feel singled out?
Well, we're talking directly to each other, so I just was wondering.
No, I never mentioned you. I think half the time I was listening, I'm gonna lie, half the time I was listening, I kind of did switch off because I was like, what are we talking about here? Like it's crazy. I understand.
I'm sure people switch off a lot when you're talking as well.
You think this would be
probably do, Sophie? Sophie, if you're trying to get me into like some back and forth with you, I'm gonna respectfully you're failing.
Do you know the easiest way to quantify this is we had Aaron Ramsdale in goal. We had Aaron Ramsdale in goal, and we signed David Raya.
The team is doing
because he was better than Aaron Ramsdale.
No, and I was so wrong about that.
I'm not happy about getting knocked out, but to have these conversations is mad. It's absolutely...
Real talk here. We had Aaron Ramsdale in goal, and we went and bought Raya. Yeah, and people were singing when we were playing Tottenham. Yeah, and he conceded a goal, and they were singing Ramsdale's name while Raya's conceding a goal. But Raya, we can all agree, is better than Ramsdale, right? We can all agree that. And I don't even think Raya's that good.
I was so wrong about David Raya. I mean, I've put my hands up a million times to say
and
how
that's
wrong
fine.
I was about that.
Listen, I got Gabriel Magalhaes wrong. I called him Bozo Gene. Yeah, but at the same time, if there's somebody better out there, just because the guy that's in front of him right now, i.e. Arteta in this scenario, if there's somebody better, go and get him. We've done it with Raya when we had Ramsdale. We've done it with other players in the squad. Yeah, we got rid of Thomas Partey for Zubamendi. Well, that's a backward step. Yeah, but that's another story. Yeah, we've done it with multiple other players. If there's something better out there, you go and get it, right? So why can't we go and get another manager? Why do we have to keep this manager? Yeah, this manager will amount to nothing. I told you 6 years ago, and here we are. Yeah, yes, we won yesterday. Yeah, and anyone in this chat and anyone on this panel, can we all universally agree? Yeah, we are shit to watch, and I'm cool with being bored if he wins something. If he don't win this league and he don't win this Champions League, are we going to go through another season this next season? Really?
But we've seen, this isn't how we play though. That's why I don't quite understand where everyone's with this. Oh, we might. What we saying here? Like we've literally been playing free flowing football. Yeah.
When?
What do you mean when? 21, 20, 20
21. Yeah, you're talking 5 years ago, Strixo.
No. Last season was okay football. It wasn't as great as this season. But I'll take this. We've had this conversation, all of us here. We will take the trophy over anything else.
Facts.
Yeah. And we're on our way to the Premier League. Yeah.
But if you don't win it, are you ready for another season this next season?
Then that's a different conversation. But
because all the players that we've got out injured are our best players, and the ones that are stepping in are shit.
The seat that I'm sitting in right now, my team is top of the table, 9 points clear, potentially could be 12 on Saturday. Yeah. Why is it my onus for my team to be playing the best football? It's for everyone else to try to overstep.
The best football is winning football,
and that's what the football
and we're
is.
winning,
and we're winning. So
I just said that, so you're going back the other way for no reason. Yeah, if he wins the league this season, I said League Cup. You man all just not you personally, maybe. Now I don't know. I said if he wins the League Cup, give him another contract. If he wins the Champs, give him a statue. Yeah, but I'm negative. Yeah,
now,
it's like just win something.
You're going the other way now, Lee. You're going the other way with that.
Now you're definitely making me sound like League Gunner 2.0, because I said even if he wins the league, I'd still get rid.
Yeah, so did Jezza. So have a few other people. I've seen people in the chat before on other streams. Yeah, it's like if he wins the Champions League, give him a statue. He's the first manager to do it at our club. Yeah, but Aaron, bless up Aaron. He was at Wembley. He's walking out the ground and people going, it don't matter, we'll win the league anyway. Well, if it don't matter, why'd you waste your time going there then? Dan, you was there.
Yeah, I couldn't
There's people around you saying the same, right?
Yeah,
it don't matter. Well, why are you there then?
They'll go one further, Lee, saying, do you know what? This might be a blessing. We don't have to play Man City in the semi-final. Less games. I'm thinking, what are we doing here? What was the point of spending like however many bills you spent on the ticket then? Like, it's just mad.
Do you know what the maddest thing is for me, Dan? Yeah. After 6 years of waiting for this guy to get past the semi, he finally got Viagra. He gets to the final. Yeah, he gets to a final, and that's what they showed up with. They didn't have 2 weeks off, and then we turn up at Southampton like that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, and the thing is, we have only lost 5 games. Yeah, but when
do you know that most businesses, most organizations position from improve from a position of strength. The best organizations in the world improve from a position of strength. And just to wrap up this with Stricto, there is no harm in discussing what Arsenal's position of strength could be and who that could involve. Nothing more, nothing less.
I think it's just mistimed, Sophie. I think it's
But when is the good time, Stricto? Because
good time, wait till the end of the season. That's the perfect time.
At the end of the season, there's no fans in the ground. Then it's World Cup. Yeah, then it's transfer season. Then it's we got new players. Let's go again.
No, but the club are having these discussions. The owners are having these discussions internally as well.
Every business, Sophie, like you said, every business has a succession plan at some point. Yeah, the stakeholders, the board, whatever. Cool. Well, but I think that even those businesses know when to have these conversations. I just think
these
hearing
businesses
it-
are having these
hearing
conversations
it now
all
as
the
fans,
time.
But we are fans. We are not involved in what goes on in the boardroom. We are not involved in
No,
what's
but
going on.
we're the biggest thing
No,
at the
but
club.
we
Because
talk
without
about
us, there is
No,
no
we're
football
not.
club.
So that's why the conversation is
No,
irrelevant.
there is.
to a certain degree.
Stricto,
Because
respectfully, yeah.
For instance, let me say
You've been to
something.
enough games here.
People
We've
talk
all been
about
to
high
enough games,
standards,
right?
high standards, high
The
standards.
reason
high
Wenger
standards.
left this
If you
football
want
club
to
is
hold
because
high
the stadium
standards,
was empty, mate.
Stop watching Arsenal. Yeah, if you want to watch if you want high standards, if you want to keep up with the high standards, stop watching Arsenal.
But we're
Plain and
not
simple.
talking about how we
No, no, but
play.
I'm
We're
saying-
talking
but I'm
about the
saying
business
there's
part
so
of the
much
game.
more
We're not talking about our style of play
there's nothing
now.
us as fans can do other than watch the team and talk
No,
about.
you can call the club out.
Then why do you
whether
go
they
on
win,
shows
lose,
to
or
have
draw.
discussions? What do you talk about
Exactly.
when you go on
Thank you,
shows?
so-
No,
Don't we talk about all the arcs and threads
exactly my
of
point.
the game?
We can talk about that, but when you're talking about the business side of it, there's nothing you, Sophie, can do, nothing Brandon can do, Dan, Lee, me.
So why do we talk about transfers then? Why do we waste our
even when you
time
talk
talking
about
about
transfers,
transfers?
we don't have the say. What are we doing here? Is the
We do
board
have
that
a
has to
say.
say?
We're
It's the
just going to
board
go
that
around
picks
in
the people.
circles, and I really don't want to do that. So
We're
let's
going
just
around
agree
in
to
circles.
disagree.
You're having
You
a
guys
business
that go to
conversation
game-
that none of us
you
have
guys
ever
go
been
to
privy
games,
to.
You had the
sit
single
around the
biggest
board.
thing. Yeah, when he loses them home fans, the game's done, mate. Yeah, when he loses them home and away fans, the game's over. Yeah, you guys have all been there. Kenny, you go every week. Sophie, you've been games. Brandon, Dan, yeah, Stricto, me, some of the chat. When he loses them home fans, it's game over, mate. We've seen this with Arsene Wenger. Yeah, and let's be real, that guy in his worst 5 years, or last 5 years, sorry, was better than this manager in the 5-6 years he's been here in terms of trophies. When he loses them fans at the stadium, it's game over, bro. Which is why every time he's in a press conference,
So why hasn't he lost them?
Because he talks to them like children.
No, we're
Oh,
not
the
stupid.
fire in
No,
the
we're
belly,
not
guys.
stupid. Why hasn't he lost
Oh,
them?
this is a light bulb, guys. We
No,
need the
why hasn't he
energy.
lost the
Get in,
fans?
bring your
Why
shin
hasn't he
pads,
lost the
guys.
fans? 3 consecutive second place
Why hasn't he
finishes.
lost the fans?
Why hasn't he
Because
lost
they're
the
happy.
fans?
They're happy being back in the conversation, Stricto. Yeah,
So
they're happy not getting mugged off 8-2, 6-0,
Are the
6-3.
fans who pay $2,000 a season ticket, some pay
Yeah.
more, yeah, they're happy with what Mikel said. Is that what you're suggesting? The fans are
There's a lot of people that are happy with him. There's an awful lot of people that ain't happy with him that go games. But he's lost them, yeah, but he ain't lost the majority yet. When he lost
Why
the
this
majority,
conversation?
we were
Why
all
this
at
conversation
the
has
game.
reared its head, Stricto, too, is because of the cup performances.
Facts.
So when you have failure in the domestic trophy in the domestic cups, I'm not saying I wanted to see Declan Rice play. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about a results-driven business that needs ROI, a return on investment, right? They've invested a lot in Mikel. I don't want to fire Mikel. As a business person, I'm saying, okay, where am I getting my ROI here? You get to a cup final against Manchester City. You have all of the opportunity to change the game in the second half when you're faced with 4 Jon Snows coming at you over and over and over again, right? And he didn't do anything to affect the game. He just made subs. He didn't do anything intricately. So fans like me who've backed him, like who weren't for him and then have been going all the chips in on him, and especially embrace the way we play in the Premier League just to get points versus performance and win this bloody thing. In the cups, in one-off games, you just need something a little bit different. And he was given the opportunity to stand up against Pep and show that his time is now. And he missed the moment.
And
he
to
had an
finish Pep
opportunity,
off
and
we're taking over now.
And he had an opportunity to
After
redeem
6 years of
himself
backing this, Sophie.
in Southampton at Southampton. He had the opportunity to redeem himself, and he didn't do it then. So that's why some fans
What
are
happened
having the
yesterday then?
question. Hold
Did
on,
he
let me
not
finish.
redeem
Let me
himself
just finish.
yesterday?
Let me finish.
Mhm.
That's why some fans are questioning in the big moments, one-off games, when the moment is now and the spotlight is on us. Can Mikel close? Can he get it over the line?
Sophie,
And that's why some fans are having that conversation.
okay, Sophie.
And I think it's fair because in the big moment, in a space of 2 weeks, we failed.
Okay, Sophie, you wanted Jurgen Klopp at the club. Your earlier monologue, right?
Yes, I said.
How many finals did Klopp lose at Liverpool?
But
How many did he get
How many did he get to? How
Okay,
about
so
that?
the point is too, though. But why? Okay, Okay.
He got to 2 in his first season with
Hold on, Sophie. Just
Yes,
answer
and he
that
lost to
question.
Unai Emery in semis and stuff. Like, I get it, but he won.
Yeah,
He
James
won the
Spearman.
Premier
Hold on,
League and he won the Champions League.
How many finals did he lose? Because
How many did he get to?
Arteta's 2-1.
I see what you're
Sorry.
trying to do here,
How many
because
did he
I've
get
selected Jurgen Klopp to
He
be.
got to 2 in his first season with Jay Spearing in midfield, mate. What are you talking
Hold on,
about?
Sophie. Go on, Sophie.
I see what you're trying to do with the Jurgen Klopp thing. I'm choosing Jurgen Klopp because I've seen him win and close. Right? So why do we go to his failures? Why are we going to his failures? We're talking about him as a pedigree manager who can come in and absolutely deliver the serial winning stuff that Brandon wants.
Because
right?
The point you just made is perfectly made for me. Failure is part of success.
Yes, it is. Failure is part of the journey to create success. It's not success.
Failure is failure. You win or you lose. Nobody remembers the losers, bro.
It's definitely part of success. Definitely.
Since when?
If you look at Michael Jordan once said, no one cares about all the shots that he missed. It's about the shots that he took and the shots that he got points in. All I'm trying to say is, yes, I wasn't happy with Sunday.
How many finals has Arteta got to?
Hold on. How many what?
How many finals Arteta got to? 2. Klopp got to that in his first season with Jay Spearing in midfield.
He lost them. He lost them.
And he lost them. But guess what? He won everything, bro.
How many has he won? How many finals he won? Failure has to turn to
but he
success.
lost
How many has he won?
Now's the time.
Klopp, let me make this clear.
You can't compare the two. You compared them.
Klopp is a superior manager to Arteta.
So why'd you compare them then?
I'm making this clear. But the point I'm trying to make is,
okay, should we go to Leicester then? What about Ranieri? What about Brendan Rodgers?
These guys have been managers longer than Arteta. What are you talking about?
Cool. Which is why he should never have got the job.
What are you talking about? Why he's got the job?
Yeah, and the reason he's still here is because fans are sitting there,
unless you bring
gassing this up when it don't matter.
A manager that started their management the same time as Arteta and has achieved more. Bring them
Arnie Slot.
Okay, cool. Let's go and get Matthias Giselle then. Let's go and get Matthias Giselle. You don't know who that is, bruv. Let's go and get Matthias Giselle. Do you know who that is? I'm not going to listen
to these guys that you bring up, Lee, man. You bring up.
Oh, cool. Well, he won a double in his first season at Strasbourg. Then he won the league again. Then he qualified Al Ali for champs. Then he won the champs. Then he won a trophy this season. Now he's in the title race, mate. And he's younger than Arteta.
Every manager that you lot brought up have experience. They had a longer time in management.
The same time as Arteta, bro. Matthias Giselle's managed the same time as Arteta, and he's won 5
Why isn't
trophies.
it at top club? Why have I never heard of him? Why is the chat never?
Why have you never heard of him? Because you don't watch football, bro. You watch Arsenal. That's it. Who's
heard of this guy Lee's talking about?
You heard of Felipe Luis?
Hold on a second. No, don't switch that. Who's heard
of
this guy?
No, chat. Has anyone in this chat, you heard of Matthias Giselle? Because Strasbourg have never won a league since he left. They ain't won a trophy since he left.
I know him because I've heard Lee say it.
Okay,
you've heard it because of Lee. Brendan, do you know this guy?
Yeah.
From
Strasbourg.
He's in Saudi. Where did we sign Arsene Wenger from? Yeah, Asia. Where's Saudi? Asia.
Hold on.
Arsene who? Matthias who?
Come on. You know this guy?
Come on, bro.
Nah, because you just bring some guys no one's heard of. Next, you're gonna tell me about
no
some
one's
guy
heard of because they're ignorant.
In Ecuadorian.
I told you the name of the guy I want. There's 2 guys. It's
Klopp and Enrique.
Why don't we go and get the number 2 at Man City? Because it worked last time, innit?
And I'm not saying I want to fight. You're making it sound like I want Mikel fired. It was a hypothetical question to
want
Kenny
him to win, Sophie.
based on yes, of course. I want to build a statue for Mikel outside the Emirates. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. It's just a hypothetical conversation based on some criteria that is going on potentially regarding his successor.
I think there's 2 things with Arsenal fans that you're gonna say. There's the deluded Arsenal fans. You can put me in there if you want, and then there's the ungrateful Arsenal fans. That's what I think.
So am I ungrateful now?
I'm trying to find. Can I just ask you a question?
Go on.
We go back 3 weeks ago, prior to the Man City Cup final. How many trophies did you think Arsenal were going to win this season?
Say that. So repeat that again, bro. I didn't quite hit the last part.
Prior to the Man City Cup final. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. How many trophies did you think Arsenal were going to win this season?
2.
Cool.
Did you
I'm
predict
an,
Arsenal to beat Man City in the final?
hang
'Cause
on,
I did.
hang on, Lee. I'm a negative fan. I even expected Arsenal to win too. I'm pretty sure Lee expected Arsenal to win at least
League
two.
Cup.
Dan, Sophie,
Same.
Ken,
Same League and
So
League
the
Cup.
disappointment comes from, right, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal put ourselves into such a great position where expectations changed throughout the season, right? Where we was in a quarter-final of an FA Cup, a final of a Carabao Cup, well, pretty much into a semi-final of a Champions League, and we're top of the Premier League, right? And the disappointment comes from the fact that we're now only probably going to win the league. And we
If we're
had an
lucky.
opportunity there to win multiple trophies.
But Brendan, who's not disappointed? I get this thing like everyone thinks Arsenal lose. Oh yeah, Stricto's happy. Yeah, give. I don't quite get it. I think
No, you said we were ungrateful,
no. I think there's definitely a balance.
which is
of
very
ungratefulness.
judgmental, by the way.
I
You
think
don't
it's
really know
definitely-
me to call me
But
ungrateful.
again, what's that old saying? If the shoe fits,
My
wear
mum
it.
would argue with that fact.
I
I don't
never
think it's
mentioned.
ungrateful
I
to
never
demand
mentioned you.
trophies strict.
Hold
though.
on, 1 second, Brendan. Sophie, again, for the second time, I never directed anything at you, but you've responded like I pointed at you. I said there are
You're
two
talking
levels
to all of
Arsenal
us,
fans.
so I'm responding to you. You actually you called us all ungrateful. The others could speak up for themselves if they want. I'm sure
Okay,
they
I
will.
also said deluded,
I'll tell
right?
you what, Strict, right?
Hold on, Dan.
I'll
One
tell you what,
second, Dan. Hold on,
Why
Dan.
don't you
1 second,
explain
Dan.
it though, Stricter? Why don't you explain what ungrateful means, and then we might know if we are or not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's a good point. But Sophie's instantly taken that she's ungrateful. If the
You know,
shoe
it's
fits-
really funny when people say you're just taking it
If
so
the shoe
personally.
fits,
You
wear it.
just called us ungrateful. That's
No, I think it's because
ridiculous.
she
I also
assumed you
said
meant
deluded.
us
I
on the
also
panel.
said
That's what I
deluded.
think.
Why didn't you jump on the deluded side?
No, I think it's
Me?
because when you
Yeah.
said ungrateful, I think she assumed it was to us on the panel. I think that's what it was. But if it
Yes.
wasn't us,
Well,
if it wasn't
when you
us,
say
Was I wrong?
Arsenal,
If I'm
there's
wrong
Arsenal
about that,
fans
then
that
I
are
take it
deluded,
back.
and to be fair,
No,
he
Sophie,
said he
you're
could
trying
be
to do
sat
this
in that
again.
deluded
You're trying to
side.
do this
Then
again.
there's
I won't
fans
let
that
you
are
get away with it.
I'm not
ungrateful.
trying to do
You're trying
anything.
to
I'm
do
not
Well, what do
trying
you
to do
mean
anything.
This is the
quantified
second
deluded
time.
and ungrateful?
This is the second time
You said
you've
some
made a comment
Arsenal fans,
like
you
I've
Arsenal fans are
pointed something
deluded and
at you. You're
ungrateful.
trying to make it personal. I haven't directed nothing at you today.
I'm not making
It's
it
the second time you've said you've
So
put
explain what you mean
anything
by ungrateful.
personal.
Well,
Don't make it
ungrateful-
like that. Don't do that,
ungrateful-
please. It's just ridiculous.
Ungrateful is
I don't have a glass chin. I could take an uppercut or two. Don't worry
no,
about
no,
it.
no, no. I would never throw uppercut at you. Don't worry about that. So you're safe. You're good.
Sophie's on fire.
Ungrateful is fans who haven't seen us win anything in a Premier League in 22 years, and already we're here talking about a succession plan. That is ungrateful.
Okay, well, that's none of us on this panel.
That's what's wrong with Arsenal fans. But that's what's it's Twitter.
That's
That
none
is
of us on
what
this
you
panel,
said.
by the way.
So let me just come in. What you just said is what I've been fighting at for a long time, because there's loads of Arsenal fans, and maybe you're included in that you love to say how big a club we are, we're bigger than Tottenham, bigger than else. When you talk about ungrateful, that is what Arsenal Football Club have reduced us to, because our history for a big club is disgrace. 53, 1970, no bloody trophies. 1971 to 1981, no league. 2004 to 2000 and counted, no league. Unless we act like a big club and stop being grateful and say demand success, which big clubs do, we're never going to be where we should be. Because my biggest concern is we'll win the league, we'll celebrate it, and then nothing for the next few years, because that is Arsenal's history. For us to be a big club, we've got to change that and be like Man United, be like Liverpool, and be a proper big club, and then go in Europe and dominate. Unless we change the mentality, it's not just some of the fans, it's the club in general, then we are always going to be the Bank of England club, the Arsenal. We've got to stop that, bro. We've got to stop that and own our size. Yeah, let's be. Let me finish. Let me finish. I want you to feel that we should win every game. I want you to feel entitled, because Man United fans feel entitled, Liverpool fans have felt entitled, PSG feels entitled. You can't be a fan of Arsenal and have a Portsmouth mentality. You have to demand success and think you've got a right to it. Liverpool fans won the league last year, and I went to Liam Mobile last year at the Bowser Stadium. I said, if Liverpool flop next season, they're going to be calling for Klopp's head, and that's exactly what they did.
And if we win the league, they'll still suck him off next season.
But
yeah,
that's
say,
why
well, look what he's done for the
Champions. Move the ball and be ungrateful. Be demanding. There's nothing
All
wrong with
right.
that.
100.
Last point on this, Strict, and then I'll ask a question to close.
47
Last point on
trophies.
this, Strict.
It's just 47 trophies or 47 whatever. 47 trophies in our history. Yeah, and that's
47. Well, say that again.
Is it not 40? We've won 47 trophies.
Are you counting Community Shields?
Well, it's a trophy.
And there's not even 47 with them.
No, it's 47. It's 47.
No, it ain't.
It's 47.
No, it ain't.
I just Googled it. I just Googled it. Trust me, I just Googled it. I just
with
Googled it.
Community Shield, yeah.
I just
Community
Googled it.
Shield's one that we shared in 91 with Tottenham.
Whatever the
6
point.
months, stayed there for 6
Okay,
months.
you know, even makes the point better. It's 30, yeah, over a period of 100
Man
years.
City and Chelsea are literally one trophy behind us, bro.
Over
We're the third
100
biggest club in
years, yeah.
England, which is
Over
why we
100
class
years,
ourselves as a
over
big club.
100 years, yeah. I get what Ken is saying, yeah. We should be able to, as Arsenal fans, demand more. But at this stage now, yeah, that can only start with now winning the league and then seeing what goes after that. Yeah. We don't know if you bring in your Luis Enriquez, he might want to tear up the
Okay,
plan.
cool. Sack him then.
He
then
might
sack
say,
the next
you know what?
manager and the next
He might
manager.
say,
and the
I
next
don't want
manager. Get it
Gabriel.
right.
I don't want Raya. I don't fancy these guys, and we got to go through that whole thing all over again. And then it might be another 5.
PSG just slapped up Liverpool tonight. They got rid of their goalkeeper who's at Man City. Yeah, that was a big call because he's a top goalkeeper. Yeah, they put some dickhead in goal. Yeah, Chevalier or whatever his name is. He's rubbish, bro. But Luis Enrique said, no, this guy ain't for me. Yeah, he got rid of him, bro. Yeah, we could have gone and got Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, no, we'll go and buy Madueke. Yeah, Man City went and bought Semenyo and Guy. Why didn't we buy him? Why didn't we buy him, bro?
We should have bought Savino as well.
Savio.
Yeah.
My point is,
but he's shit.
If there's something better,
shit.
go and get it. But if it doesn't
Savio's
work
shit.
out, sack them. It don't
Savio's
take
shit.
6 years to prove a point.
Yeah, I think you think this is strict. I think you think this is strictly a you're all against Arteta thing.
No,
It's
we
not.
want him to win.
My
want for this manager out of this club is less than my want to win.
If we get
trophies
rid
with
of
this
Arteta
manager.
now and we replace him with somebody else, and that next man doesn't do his job,
Sack
and
him
what
as
we
well.
expect, sack him and all. Doesn't
So
matter who
we'll just do the Chelsea
do.
thing, yeah?
Yeah, dude. Well,
That's
it
how
worked for
big clubs
Chelsea.
get
It worked for
success.
Real Madrid. It works for Juve. It works for
So
Galatasaray.
we should do the Chelsea. So
Works for
when we get the
Benfica.
panel, are you
It works
happy
for
doing the
Celtic.
Chelsea
It works
model?
for every
Ken?
other big club
Ken?
around the world,
Can
bro.
I
Ken,
answer
Ken,
that
happy
quickly?
doing the Chelsea
I'll answer
model?
that quickly, yeah. I'll answer you quickly, Strict, all right? If
Go
you
on.
give me the point now of saying we'll keep Arteta for 10 years and we win a trophy, or we have 10 managers in 10 years and 10 trophies, I'll take the 10 managers and 10 trophies, 100%.
It clearly works though, Strict, though, because the most successful clubs in world football sack managers.
Bayern Munich have had 21 managers
did Liverpool
since
sack
Arsenal
before
won the
they got
league.
Premier League?
Chelsea, Barca, Real
many
Madrid,
managers did Liverpool
and
sack before they got the
Bayern
Premier
Munich
League?
have had more managers than we have. Yeah, they've had more managers than years, some of them, and they keep winning. They've won 30 odd trophies, all of them. All of them.
I'm just saying, let's just
So
get
it
this league.
works.
Let's just get this league over. Let's see where we go from there. I can't
That's
sit
fair.
here.
That is
Yeah,
fair.
that is fair.
I
But at the
can't
same
sit here
time,
and
Strict,
saying-
though, yeah, if he
can't
doesn't
sit here
win
saying
the
like,
league this
let's get rid of
season,
him
there's nowhere to hide,
because
bro.
of what we don't know what might happen. If he
And,
doesn't
and,
win
and
the
let's
league,
not forget, a
it's
lot of these
another
players are
conversation.
going to the World Cup. Yeah, then they're coming back and then they're going again. Saka's dusted. Declan Rice is not going to make the World Cup. I'm telling you right now, one of Saka or Rice ain't making the World Cup. And if they do, they ain't making next season. Now, I told everyone, and we've
That
set
goes
up
for
panel shows.
every player in the Premier League. That's
No,
not
it
just
ain't.
Arsenal players. That goes for every player in the Premier League that's going to
No,
the World
it
Cup.
don't.
Is it only Arsenal players going to World Cup? Every
No,
player is going to the
no.
World Cup. That
Respectfully,
plays
yeah.
our top team.
Respectfully, I sat here last season. Kenny, you were on the show. Potsy. Now, I think Sophie was on the show. I think you were on Brandon and Stricto. Yeah. I sat here and said, when everyone was laughing, oh, what are you saying now? What are you saying now? Because Saka's Panenka the penalty and it went left and he scored against Madrid. I said, watch next season. Now, I said, the guy's done. I've seen Michael Owen, bro. We're all of the same age, similar age, yeah? We've seen Michael Owen have a grade 3 and never recover. We've seen Jonathan Woodgate. Yeah, we've seen top ballers, Fernando Torres. Yeah, we've seen proper players have injury-ending careers. Michael Owen has openly admitted, as soon as he was Ronaldo, Adriano, so we could go on and I ain't going to list them all. I said everyone last season, Bukayo Saka's done by 25. I've been telling you for 4 years. Why? Because this manager did not trust Reece Nelson. He didn't trust Ethan. Yeah, he didn't trust Marquinhos. He didn't trust all these other players.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Don't forget Sterling.
Oh, don't even start me on him. Yeah, we didn't go Elise. Yeah, we could have got him for less than Madueke. Are you all right, mate? Yeah, like Elise. Yeah, he had a Champions League clause. He's round the corner. He don't need to leave his house, bruv. Apart from scum training and play games. Don't need to leave country. It's like, why aren't we putting the money on the table for Harry Kane? Because that's what Fergie would have done. That's what George Graham would have done. That's what Wenger would have done. We got Sol Campbell, right? So why didn't we just go and gazump Bayern Munich? Yeah, and go, yo, Daniel Levy loves money. They paid 86 million for him. We'll give you 110. Now you got a decision to make, mate. Yeah, why don't we go for the best of the best? Every single player we have signed, yeah, that is at our club right now, bar Kepa or the academy lads, yeah, is on more money than when we signed him. Declan Rice was on 60, is now on 240. Kivior was on $2,000 a week. He went to 58. Why? No, he was at Spezia. Spezia was to sign him. And now he's top of the league at Porto. Yeah, Gyökeres is on 200. He was on 50. Yeah, the only player that has took a pay cut to come to our club that is currently in our squad is Kepa. Yeah, he took a 15 grand pay cut. Every single player has took a pay increase.
Do you know what's hilarious about that?
Calafiori took a 10 times pay increase. And we outgazumped everyone in Italy.
Your wages are going to instantly go up. It's part
okay, cool. But if you're Arsenal, so I hear that and I agree. But if you're Arsenal and you're paying 42 million for Calafiori, and he's on 12,000 euros a week, and you put him instantly on 120, why? We'll pay you 20 then.
Yeah? Mate, come on. Tottenham are paying Gallagher 200.
I ain't talking about Tottenham.
No, I am. Hold on a second. I am, because you can talk about other clubs to make your point. I'm going to use other clubs to make my point.
I think that's the first time Spurs have gone that far with. I think he's the highest paid in history.
Gallagher, yeah, 200.
At the end of the day, it's just I can't talk about how they deal with their finances. Like I said, I can't have these business conversations.
How comes Jesus was on 90 grand a week at Man City then, and he's on 265 at Arsenal? How comes Zinchenko was on 20 grand a week and he went to 150 at Arsenal like that?
Can anyone verify that? Where'd you get
100% it's verified, bro.
Where?
Are you all right, mate?
Hold on. How much?
No, that one's on Copology, to be fair, Stricto. That is true.
Come on, bro. Every single player times is their money. Yeah,
but bro, if Arsenal are going to sign you, you're going to sit there and take the same wage. You're going to take the same wage.
I get that. So but now, on the flip side, on the flip side of that, then, how comes Man City can buy players and they go on less wages?
115 charges will tell you that.
Nobody cares. Prove it.
Not 100. They're trying to prove it. 115.
Well, they've been trying for 4 years. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for this guy to win a trophy.
Same thing with Chelsea. 72 charges will tell you the same thing.
But can we agree, that the wages thing is also a little bit of a problem? Because if you're
bigger than Man United,
it's like Lee said, right? If you're 10x in somebody's wages just for signing for the club, what incentive do they have then to go and win trophies? Surely you give them the pay rise when they've done the business on the pitch.
Odegaard was on 85 grand a week at Real Madrid. None of us here are privy to these conversations. Then we put him on 240. Why?
This is why these conversations are a bit silly, because none of us are privy to the conversations, to the contracts. None of us are privy to that. Why? We don't know why these contracts are being handed out. It's just modern football.
No, we do, because that's the only way we can attract players, Stricto.
It's modern football. It's not Arsenal.
It's not. Cole Palmer is on less than Bukayo Saka by a third. And he's a better player, bruv. And he left Man City to go Chelsea.
No, he's not. He wasn't. He's not better than.
I really hope we win the league.
He's not better than. He's not better than.
Let me ask this question, man. Let me ask this question to close, because I do want to round up. Let me ask this question. I'll start with you, Soph. If we want to win this league, do we have to beat Bournemouth and Man City in the next 2 home games, or is it not as deep as that? Because I'm feeling like I need to see 2 wins in these next 2 just to kill this Man City side off, man. But what are you saying, Soph?
I think it's important we win the game before Man City. So, yes, Going into that Manchester City game with any doubts and any points lost, I think is, the smelling blood part that we just can't deal with and we haven't proven that we can overcome. And I really hope for Mikel, for the players, that they can overcome this hump, because I dread to think what life would be like if, for any reason whatsoever, we don't win the league. But Bournemouth is important, and win at the Etihad, and you're super in control of everything. So yeah, my concern is, I don't know, Fulham, 3 London derbies at the end of the month. Okay, fine, we don't have to leave London for our last 4 games, right? Everton, we have Everton at home. So those are the ones that bother me. West Ham are fighting for their life. Fulham will be on the beach. Crystal Palace, but that West Ham game kind of worries me a little bit if they're really fighting tooth and nail to survive still. So the answer is yes, we've got to go into the Etihad game with confidence and with points.
And look, I'll be honest with you, Brandon. If we do go into the Etihad game and people are saying just draw, I'm going to get a bit annoyed, if I'm honest. And if we do set up to draw, I'll be even more so annoyed. I feel like we've got to go and beat them. This is what Mark Overmars did in '98 and Sylvain Wiltord did in 2002. Let's go do it again in the Etihad. Why are we worried about this? Oh, just please don't lose this game. Go and beat them. Go and beat them and kill them off, Brandon.
I agree with that. I agree. I think we should go and beat them, or at least try to beat them. But in reality, we don't need to beat them. We can draw, and as long as we beat Bournemouth and win the rest of our games. But I do fear that Mikel Arteta is going to go into that Man City game and set up for a draw. And then we're going to end up losing it, Yep. But really, the mentality from the players and from the manager needs to be, well, I want revenge for that cup final, mate. Like, we're putting you out of this. Yeah, we're dusting you off, mate. That's it. Finished. Title done. Yeah, forget the rest of the games. We're beating you at the Etihad. We're beating Bournemouth, and then that's kaput. It's finished. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
It's going to be key for me. Lee, I guess you agree with this. Win the next 2 games.
I don't think we're beating Bournemouth. They've had 3 weeks off. Now, I don't know how many of the players went international break. Yeah, and just to come back very quickly, yeah, look at the difference between O'Reilly and Skelly. Yeah, both midfielders. One's been coached properly, yeah, and one ain't. Yeah, that sums up the difference between these 2 managers. So yes, he can win the league, and I do think we'll still win the league. However, if we win the league, we're scrambling over the line, mate. Yeah, and that's cool. Watch next season. Yeah, after this squad are finished, bro. Yeah, and I predicted Saka wouldn't be in the squad. How can I predict that? Do you know why? Because Damon played 90 minutes the other day and he brought Madueke on at the end. Yeah, if Saka was fit, he would have started Madueke and brought Damon on. Yeah, I can read the manager like a book. So if I can do it, every other coach in the world can. Yeah, the only difference is Sporting couldn't finish a wank. Yeah, and we'll go through. Yeah, cool. Then we get banged in the next round. And if we don't, we get to the final. Then it'll be, oh, progress, we got to a champs final. Yeah, then we get weighed in the final. Next, we ain't beating whoever we get to the final. Let's just be real. If it's Bayern, we're getting wallops, bruv. Yeah, these men don't watch Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's jarring. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, and anyone who knows me, Kenny, you know me offline. Yeah, Brandon, you know me offline. Dan, you know me offline. My want for this manager to win is bigger than my want for him out. Yeah, but people only see the clips, and that's cool. Yeah, people ain't got time to watch all my streams. However, so annoying, mate. I've predicted for 18 months straight every injury in a row of this football club. Yeah, don't be surprised if we lose.
Do you have the lottery numbers?
I don't gamble, to be fair. But I've predicted every injury in a row. Yeah, for 18 months. Me, Matty, and Ola have predicted them in a row. Yeah, in a row. Yeah, every single one. Yeah, it's like, how can we do that? Yeah, and if we know what we're going to do sitting online as fans, yeah, then surely the managers know. They've had 3 weeks off Bournemouth by the time we play them. Yeah, we got Sporting after that. Then we got Man City. Then we got Newcastle. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if we don't win any of them games. We'll beat Sporting. Yeah, we'll bully them at home. Yeah, and we bullied them the other night. And listen, the only 2 players that walk out of that game yesterday Yeah, if any ounce of credit, the goalkeeper, fair fucking play to him, yeah? Because without him, we get weighed in. And 29 when he came off the bench, touch, slap, goal, fair play. Yeah, the rest of them were dog shit. Let's just be real with it.
What
Yeah,
about Martinelli's pass?
yeah, but again, the only reason that happened is because Dalman occupied 4 players over the other side. Yeah, you should have started the game in the first place, Brandon. Yeah, he's off school. He ain't got school tomorrow. It's like half term. Like, it's so annoying. Yeah, I'm watching Lamine Yamal tonight run rings around everyone and they lost. Yeah, and it's like, it's so jarring. It's so jarring because Declan Rice is running on fumes. Timber's dusted. Ben White is finished. That knee done. Yeah, and I know Dan wants to wrap up and I'm going live shortly. Yeah, but at the same time, there's so many players at our football club that are finished. Yeah, because of injuries. And that is because this manager does not use the squad. He openly sat in a press conference before the game against Southampton and said Rice has been playing on 70% for weeks. Cool. Why ain't Norgard played then? Why ain't Skelly been in midfield then? Yeah. Where's Salmon at right back? Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. He puts all these other players in the squad. Oh, look at me. I've promoted all the youth. Shut up, man. Yeah. This guy is the biggest fraud in world football ever. Yeah. And it always lands on his feet. Yeah. And I hope he wins. And the best scenario would be he wins both the trophies, one or both, and then walks off into the sunset and says, see you later, completed it, mate, and does as Zidane. Yeah, but he won't. Yeah, he won't win nothing. And if he does, fair play to him. And I'll apologise and say, yo, I got it wrong. I didn't think he'd do it. However, does anyone think he's resigning next season? Half this squad are fucked, mate. Yeah, they're done. Declan Rice is blowing out of his arse, bro. And he's going World Cup. Saka's finished. Yeah, Ben White, Timber, they're done.
I know you gave Pep credit for
Saliba and Gabby, they're
O'Reilly
busted as well.
What about Nico? Was it Rico Lewis? What happened to Rico Lewis?
Why are we mentioning Rico Lewis?
Why are we mentioning O'Reilly and Skelly?
Well, because we're talking about the difference between coaching a centre midfielder to play left back, which is what we done with Skelly, right? He started at the Bernabeu. Sorry. Yeah, it was the Bernabeu. Yeah, he started at the Bernabeu. We've barely seen him this season. O'Reilly's a midfielder, same as Skelly, right? Number 8, same as Skelly, playing at left back. That guy dunked on us twice. Yeah,
right. Louis Skelly dunked on Man City last season.
I got a run, Dan.
Stay humble, eh?
Oh, big up to you, Brandon. I know you got a shoot as well. Big up to
both of you guys.
These guys.
Take care, guys. Take care. Stricto, it was good debating with you. You take care, okay?
No harsh feelings, Sophie.
No, not at all. This is what we do. It's all good, mate. It's all good. All right? Have a good one. You take care. All right. Lots of love, everyone. Thanks to everyone in chat as well. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Take care.
Love.
But how do you get a player in O'Reilly, yeah, that is a midfielder, that everyone's like, who's this tall, lanky, skinny youth, yeah? And now he's playing at left back. And then he dunks on everyone.
Yeah, but
we have Skelly.
You're nitpicking. You are nitpicking.
I'm not picking. I'm not nitpicking. You asked me a question. I'm answering it.
No, you said, what Pep's done with Nico O'Reilly.
You mentioned Rico Lewis. I said O'Reilly. You mentioned Rico Lewis.
You mentioned it O'Reilly, and then I mentioned Rico Lewis because he's gone backwards. He's gone backwards. O'Reilly.
Yeah, cool. What about Phil Foden then?
He's also gone backwards.
Oh, really? That guy's won 19 trophies.
You talked about earlier.
He's won 19 trophies.
You talked earlier about one of Saka or Rice missing out in the England squad. Foden will miss out in the England squad.
Oh, really? You reckon that?
Yeah.
Foden's barely played this season.
Foden has more chance of missing out of that squad than Rice or Saka. Fact. True.
Right, let me tell you right now, yeah? I'm going to tell you right now because I've been right 9 times out of 10 about this squad. Yeah? Declan Rice and or Bukayo Saka, one of them, if not both, will not make the World Cup squad because they will have a major injury. Saka's already fucked anyway. Rice is that close to having a major injury. Yeah? If they both go, and they don't get injured, watch in the first 3 months of next season. Benito, por favor. Yeah, Saka's washed anyway, bro. That hamstring has killed him. Ben White knee surgery, he played him for 4 months from August to December last season, and then admitted oh yeah, oh well, he needed knee surgery. Why'd you play him then? Yeah, that killed his career off, mate. Yeah, Timber went on a Dutch podcast. Yeah, that no Top Gooners, by the way, shared. So I got Dutchies in my chat. Bless up the Dutchies.
You can't say
to
Top
translate
Gooners.
it.
You can't say Gooners in
Oh.
on the stream.
I don't say
Yeah,
that.
let's not go there again.
That's so funny, man.
God.
You stopped me. I was in full flow. That's funny. Yeah, that's probably for the best you stopped me.
Look, let me
It's
ask.
jarring. It's so annoying. Yeah,
No, I
because,
hear
like,
it.
we
I
all
hear
want
it.
the club to win, innit?
No, I hear it, and I'm with you. Let's just win, man. And I think, to be honest, when I look at it, I can understand in a way, for the first time probably on this show, where everyone's coming tonight. I kind of hear where Stricto's at. If he wins, why are we talking about replacing him? At the same time, I understand the progression thing, and I understand the kind of future in terms of, do we want to see this guy at the club for the next few years if he does win something, because we don't know if he's going to dominate, which is what we all want. So I think there's been some good points tonight. Let me just close by asking this very quick question, because I do need to get out of here, and Lee's got a show, and I'll redirect to you, bro, so everyone will come over to watch Lee. Stricto, let me start with you, then I'll come to Kenny, then Lee to close. How many points are we getting in the next two Premier League games, Stricto? Bournemouth and Manchester City. What are you saying, bruv?
You know what's mad, Dan? Someone said to me on my stream the other day, we'll lose to Bournemouth and beat Man City.
Wow.
Thumbs up Arsenal, to be fair.
Yeah,
I was like, that is something that is more likely to happen. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but I think, honestly, 4 points, we could do 4 points, I reckon.
Okay. Kenny?
Man City will beat us at the Etihad Stadium, because simple reason is they're going to take us to school, in terms of, like, they're going to make us run, and because our players are running on empty, I don't think we'll be able to succeed. Bournemouth, I think we were a set piece away from winning the game. I think it'll be a scrappy win, and we'll beat them. But as I said, Man City even if Man City win all their games and beat us, they're going to need some snookers from us. Yeah, they'll get one snooker at the Etihad, and I think they will get a snooker. I think that the last two games we played them, they've had the wood over us in terms of tactically, and they really should have won at the Emirates. But against next games, the games at the London Stadium is going to be critical. I think that's the game where it's going to be very important. I think that's the game that can win us the league. Newcastle, I think, Newcastle are brilliant in the first half an hour, but if they ain't 2 or 3-0 up, they'll run out of gas and we'll beat them. So massive. Yeah, maybe, but I think Newcastle, I think they're on the beach as well. But I do think that West Ham away, that's a very critical game. We should win it, but all the teams we're playing, with the exception of Man City, we should beat. But when I look at our physical state, the players are not fully fit. The teams we're going to be playing are going to be fresher, and they're playing once a week. And sometimes when you're fresher and you play less games, sometimes the fitness supersedes the ability. And that's my biggest concern. The fitness of Bournemouth, West Ham, and all these other teams supersedes our ability. And then that will kill us, because it's one of the things where you don't want to go. I don't want to go to Crystal Palace where it's neck and neck. We're away at Crystal Palace, they're at home against Aston Villa. Don't want that. But I think the Premier League and most neutrals will love it. And of course, as Stritzo says, our enemies from outside, other fans, are going to have a field day if we don't win at Crystal Palace and Man City win the league. But that's
his last game as well.
Shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
It's his last game.
But it shouldn't happen. But the thing with Arsenal, there is PSTD. The performances in the Cup are showing us that we're still fallible. We've got injuries. There's no doubt about it. We're looking fallible as well. Look, that I wish we had a David Raya up front. We have a David Raya in midfield, because we had a David Raya in those sort of positions who's playing world class football. The league be done by next week.
It should be done anyway. Let's
Well,
just be real.
it should
over
be.
Anyway.
It should be, but the fact
We
is
parked the
that
bus at home to Liverpool second half. We parked the bus against
Yeah.
Forest.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
though?
but-
I said this though, boys, right? The other night, and I was Robbie and Lee. It was Robbie, Lee, and Christian was saying, "Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Lee. Sorry, judges. It was Christian and Robbie saying to me, you know, Everton, we showed the pressure, we got across the line. Newcastle away, got across the line. I'm like, come on.
You're right.
That is not,
They're right.
I'm giving I'm giving examples of when it did go wrong and what concerns me, and all we get is, but we beat Leverkusen and we beat Everton. I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm talking about the cup final.
The thing with those two games against when we beat Newcastle at St James's Park, that was the best Arteta. That was Arteta that used his substitutes really well, made decisions in keeping his attacking players.
Took the handbrake off as well.
Yeah,
and took the shackles off.
Kept going.
And kept going. The Everton game at the Emirates Stadium. Now, I can only speak for myself. If those two goals don't get in, that's a meltdown. That's a different podcast. That's a different fan
camp. My old man was sat on the sofa when Pickford went up for the corner. Yeah, I said, Dad, Pickford's going up. He goes, well, what could possibly go wrong?
I'm going to head out.
Yeah. It was like, fucking, that's England's number one, by the way. Yeah,
respect you. Love her.
Appreciate you, bro.
Can you see that? But can you just see that we're calling Raya one of the best guys in the world? Yet in Spain, Unai Simon's is rated as better. And you know what?
John Garcia is their number one now.
And that's the thing. He's
number three. Well, actually, Unai Simon's had a shit season. So Unai Simon a go, all three of them a go. Yeah, but Raya would be number two. John Garcia is going to be number one.
Yeah, and that's
they're
the thing.
pissing the World Cup, by the way.
Yeah, maybe so, but you know that's the thing. That's what I love about football. That's what I love about football, because the Spanish football, the Spanish fraternity have got a better knowledge of their goalkeepers than I'll ever have. But I can only talk from an Arsenal perspective. In league terms, I think he's one of the best in the world. However, I think Spain have probably got it right. You know, Garcia, from what I've heard, is
John Garcia
levels.
Is unreal. And then he did 20 million when it was a 30 million buyout. Well done, Edu.
But you know,
what is he?
But you know one thing. Yeah, but one thing I will say is that next season is going to be critical, because we've got PSR and we've got a huge tax bill. We have to sell before we buy, and he's got to make a decision on a big name. And if he doesn't make it, I'll make it for him.
I think there might be a couple of big names, if I'm honest. But you know,
I think Odegaard's gone.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I think Odegaard's gone as well. I do think he's gone, and I think he should be. I'm sick.
He's been here nearly 8 years.
Yeah, Martinelli. I think Ben White. Trossard. If I'm honest, I think Ben White might need to.
Everton. He go Everton. Trossard can go to a United States.
Jesus, I know he's not a big player, but Jesus needs to go. He's on big wages, man.
Big wage. He'll go.
Go to Corinthians.
Yeah, it's long.
Obviously,
I think we'll draw with Bournemouth. I think we'll lose to City. Yeah, because we have that game. We have that game against Sporting. Yeah, that's the most important game for him. Now, let's be real. We've got a lot of players out.
Isn't the league more important than the Champions League, though, Lee?
Well, yeah, but at the same time, just win something, Kenny. Kenny, the League Cup was the most important thing in the world, because it was 100%. 6 years of waiting for this guy to get to a final, to secure the process, stick a dagger in Pep's heart, and say, we're here to take over. And you got Cherky doing kick-ups. You have 2 weeks off, and then you lose to Southampton. Yeah, and people going, oh, it's a reserve team. No, £500,000 up front, mate. Like, come on, the 16-year-old boy is our best player. It's sad. It's not sad for him.
But that's the thing we think. That's why the debates on whether Mikel's the right man to take us forward is valid, because what we've seen since we've had Wolves, we've had Southampton, we've had the League Cup final, we've had Man United. We've had a lot of games where it is up for question how we're playing. And I think what's happened is that if you're not an Arsenal fan and you're a neutral fan with neutral eyes, you would say, and it'd be valid to say that, we are where we are in spite of, not because of. And that's not because other teams have been poor. Our position is because, yes, we've earned it, but the situation is that it has left the back door open. It has been open with criticism because
Well, don't you think
before.
so? Yeah,
We're not playing well.
I sometimes sit here and I think, like, am I actually being negative? Like, we're top of the league. Yeah, we look like we're going to win the league. We've got a striker in spite of this manager's bagged 17 goals. Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, the football's crap. But am I actually being overcritical?
Not at all.
Because like, when we were winning leagues back in the day and winning trophies back in the day, yeah, we were shit. Like Man United, we scammed them in 05. Let's be real. Yeah, Michael Owen killed us off in 01. Yeah, it's are we actually being too critical? Like,
no, not at all.
I'm like, no, you have to look at the bigger picture.
No, you're not being critical because, you know, every football game that Arsenal plays is going to have a lot of coverage. It's going to have reviews by Dan, reviews by you. It's going to have watch.
It never used to, Kenny. That's the point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't put the genie
games and enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you can't put the genie back in the bottle. The genie's out of the bottle now. You do have fan opinion. You do have per match reaction, and you know it's like at Arsenal. You could be bottom of the table or top of the table. If you lose, then there will be meltdowns. There will be criticism because that's the way football is.
Real Madrid, yeah, they got booed off at half time yesterday. At half time,
it's different.
Real Madrid is the benchmark for
when
all,
that club
all the
loses its standards, mate. We're done. Football's finished when they lose their standards. Yeah, because they're the lost sole survivor.
Real Madrid, teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, because of their history, will never lose their standards. Real Madrid and Barcelona still believe, even if Arsenal, Bayern Munich, PSG, any other team wins the Champions League, they still believe that they have a right to the Champions League. And that's the way football fans be. So when people talk about Arsenal fans and say you shouldn't be spoilt by success, you shouldn't feel entitled. A Portsmouth fan is entitled to say that. A Sunderland fan is entitled to say that. An Arsenal fan is not entitled to say that because you can't laugh at Spurs and say, "Oh, Spurs are not our rivals. They're a small club, Palace small club," and then you say that. You
can't gas us up like we're the best in the world and then not have the standards of best in the world.
We have to.
Well, they gas us up to be the best in the world, and then they go, "What, Carabao Cup? No, thank you. FA Cup? No, thank you."
No Arsenal fan.
These trophies, man. That's
the thing, Dan. No Arsenal fan has a right to forsake any trophy because we haven't won it. We haven't won trophies on a regular basis, year-to-year basis in our history for quite a while. So Arsenal fans have to take what trophies are on offer. And even when we do win the trophies, if you go to Wembley, you're expected to go and win because you've got 40,000 fans who've given their day and they demand trophies.
And
then when you win,
not only that, since we last won the league, the FA Cup and the League Cup, Leicester have won all three. Been relegated, come back and got relegated again.
That's embarrassing.
F Man City, F Man United, F Tottenham, all these other clubs there, Leicester have won all three of them trophies since we have. That's embarrassing. And been relegated and come back and got relegated again.
It's a madness. Let me do these supers before we get out of here. This one is from One Mad Press. Big up to you, bro. So get the fans who want to give it to the illusion that nothing can stop us winning the title. But after seeing Luis Enrique's PSG, you can't convince me that results can only be achieved by negative football. Facts. Absolute facts. One Mad Press. To be pragmatic this year and get over the line with this system is something the majority of supporters can understand. The problem is when it becomes the club's identity with limited players on huge contracts. Again, fantastic super chat. Big up, man. We've got another one here as well. Says,
he's funding the whole stream, Dan.
He is, bro. He is. Big up to you, my bro. It says, I think the concept of diminishing returns can be applied to Arsenal in terms of finance and signings. We'll eventually reach a peak and stagnate before restarting a new cycle of rebuild. There's another super chat in a minute, which is perfect about this as well. But you're spitting facts tonight, my guy. Cliff says this: we caned the legend like Wenger, but wrap Arteta in cotton wool. 6 years of not even a hint of a plan B. This squad is too good not to dominate. I totally agree, Cliff. And I always agree with your super chat as well.
Great comments, by the way.
They are. K-Boss says Stricto's right. The conversation is
ridiculous.
Stricto's got a lot of good points. Yeah, he has got a lot of good points, Kenny and Dan, and chat. He has. We all want to win. Yeah, we just have different ideas on how to win.
How we get there.
At that point.
And how it goes from there.
Yeah, but that point is right up to a point. But when you have points like that, that means you dilute the conversation. It's basically saying no one else can have another view. And it's basically saying that you can move the dial from having two really bad performances and then we win. Oh, everything's all right. The marriage is okay.
We beat Sporting. Yeah, so that rubs off the last two.
That's it. Like,
Judging May when he said that. He was like, have a look in May. What, when it goes to the World Cup? Then it's transfer season. Now we've got new players, so we've forgot everything.
Right. We hypothetically, and we don't
now
want
we've got new players we're going to gas up that you've never watched.
But the situation is that the same guy who said that Stitcho's right and the conversation is ridiculous, the dial's going to move if we don't beat Bournemouth and if Man City beat us, and then it gets close.
Look at when we lost to Man United.
Yeah?
All of a sudden, we lost to Man United, and all of a sudden, these people come out the woodwork and actually said what they think.
But that will happen again because when we lost the cup final, people started to come out again.
As I said before, the Everton game was if you were to do like an experiment on human behaviour and you actually measured that human behaviour in game, and then in 90 minutes when it was 0-0, and then when we get our 2 goals, the dial between people's opinions and moods went from right on the floor up there, and then the whole narrative changes. I'll tell you now, the scripts were written at 0-0, and then all of a sudden they got to get a new script right because we won 2-0. But they're not talking about the fact that we weren't as great. Yes, we were showed endeavour, but we were very blunt when we went up top. But for 2 mistakes, that was the greatest performance in the world. Max Down was the greatest player in all time. Gyökeres is he's as good as Gerd Muller. That's what that's the fan cam. But at 0-0, the fan cam's different. Gyökeres is Herman Munster. Max Down was just a kid playing like a coach. And then Raya might as well be something else. But that's the situation. From 90 minutes at 0-0 to 92 minutes at 2-0, 2 minutes, the whole dial changes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me come to the next one.
Everyone's had a great game. 29 had a great game the other night because he got an assist. No, he was rubbish, bro. You can say a player's rubbish if we win. Sorry,
I agree with that. I agree with that. No, it's calm. JBO says, I want him out even if he wins the league. When you look at the credit he got in the bank after just one FA Cup, what could it be next? I'm tired of PRBS. There's a lot of fans.
Imagine he wins the league. That could be another decade, bro.
Well, yeah, let's see.
Is there 6 years in an FA Cup?
AJT 21 Gunner says Stricto throw a participation trophy at them. Shay Tanya also says big up to the panel. Big up to you, Shay Tanya. I think it's time for Saka to step up on another level. I don't think he can. I just watched top quality wingers in Bayern and PSG. We need our best. I personally feel a little bit sorry. Well, I feel massively sorry for Bukayo Saka, and he's getting a hell of a
Yeah, I don't. I'll tell you why, Dan. Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Yeah, that guy is part of his own problem.
Arteta's overplayed him, though, Lee.
Yeah, but he also has the choice to say, yo, boss, I can't play. Yeah, bro, I'm not fit to play. Yeah, he knows his body better than anyone. It's his body, bro. Yeah, he can say, no, I'm not playing. Same with Timber. Yeah, anyone that watched my stream when No Top Gooner shared it, with Yuri Timber saying, yo, I couldn't run, and then he's facing Kvaratskhelia the next day, the second leg. And he's like, Yuri, I need you tomorrow. I need you. Stay healthy, guy. Stay healthy, my friend. Yeah. No, boss, I can't play. I cannot walk, bro. But they want so much money, Dan. They're not going to say that. They get run into it. We see it in the first leg with Yuri and Timber when he went down, held his knee and held his hamstring, went off, rubbed his face with his t-shirt. Arteta didn't even ask if he was all right. Just giving him instructions. So, yes, Saka's good. And he's been amazing, and that's cool. However, you know your body, bruv. Why are you allowing this man to ruin your career?
I think you're right. You're right to say that he needs to speak up. I think when you look at it,
Not
you
too much money,
also rely on his manager though to say, like, you've got. I personally put a lot more blame on Mikel Arteta, but I hear what you're saying.
Dan, real talk here. Real talk. Yeah, he knows his body better than anyone on the planet. It's his body. He can say, Mikel, I am not fit to play. Same with every other player on the planet. They could say, no, I can't play. I'm not fit, Mikel. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not fit, Luis Enrique. I'm not fit, Hansi Flick. Yeah, I'm not fit to play, bro. Yeah. So he's part of his own problem, really.
I worry for
because he
Saka,
came
man.
from the
I worry.
academy, we give him a bit of a pass, innit?
Yeah, and I love the kid. I do. I love Saka.
love him
I
as
feel
well,
like
but
I
he
feel
ain't
like
what
you
people
know
think he is.
you're right. You're right in what you're saying. It's just for me. I'll never forgive this guy if he has completely ruined him. That's what I'm saying. Netweed says Arteta still should have had us 15 points ahead. I totally agree with that. We've got one mad big up to you, bro. Again, says, how can this be the start of an era of domination when no matter what happens this season, we need a rebuild from a midfield to attack? That is spot on.
No,
that is also spot
it's
on.
a retool, bro. It's a retool.
Oh, it's not a rebuild. It's a retool. I'll never forget that stream, man. Another 90 minutes of process, paint dry on Saturday. I'm really not looking forward to that game.
Paint watch is Arsenal dry, Netweed.
Paint watch is Arsenal dry. That is the way it is. K-Boss says, sack the manager who wins us the league. My word.
Yeah, cool. That's what Real Madrid do, bro. They sacked Capello twice. Yeah, 96, 97, and 06, 07.
Nobody left on here has said that they would. Brandon was the only one who said that he will. I think all three of us said they could keep him if he wins it.
Yeah, Capello got sacked twice at Real Madrid after winning the league.
Yeah. AJT says, how can we still back £1 billion clown that ruins players and hamstrings and injuries? His arrogance landing planes. If it was your players, what the hell are you ruining my assets? I paid for these red zones. There's a lot of people that do not believe that this guy is going to be the guy to take us forward. Netweed also says, all those happy clappy managers fans at the Emirates is why we've gone 20 years mudded. Forget the past 6. They care more about their bombers.
He's chatting facts.
He is chatting facts. He always does, Netweed. He's not a fan of it at the moment. I understand and I hear it. And big up to Phil for the super sticker as well.
Fuck Tottenham,
look,
hope you get relegated.
Them and I hope
best
they go
scenario,
down.
Dan, is we go into that West Ham game, we'll fund the league and we'll give them 3 points.
Yeah, man.
Spurs.
And do you know what? You know what happens? It is we go through 1-on-1 Gyökeres and he just hits Rosette like Son did against.
Like Son.
I love it.
He missed on purpose.
You know what? Let's not have this North London reunited stuff nonsense.
North London forever. North London together, Kenny. Yeah, do you see? You guys sing that, right?
North London together.
I don't want to go back there. The rows we had about the rivalry, about being an Arsenal fan and backing Spurs, that was the most exhausting podcast I've ever been on. To extent, I don't want to go there again, ever again.
I don't think we'll have to, Kenny, because I think this is going to go to the last game of the season. This title, I really do.
I hope it don't, because if it does, we got Crystal Palace away.
I know. I hate that fixture.
Yeah, and that's Glaston's last game. Yeah, and every single London team don't want us to win the league, and Man City have got London teams still to play. And they're going to try double hard to throw the title away to Man City.
Lee, there's 3 results that were.
Chelsea are going to bend over for Man City, by the way, just let you know.
Of course, yeah, but Lee, whenever we play Crystal Palace, the sequence of results is always the same. They beat us 3-0, we drew 2-2, or we beat them 5-1 or 4-0. That's the sequence of results. Yeah. Anything that happened in that game of the season, especially when it's something on it.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, them 3 clubs, Don't be surprised if we don't win against them 3 London clubs. We'll beat Burnley. Yeah, I think we'll draw against Bournemouth.
Burnley
could go either way. Bournemouth had 3 weeks off, so they could be extra fresh. Yeah, and we got one eye on Sporting second leg, or they could be like they've had 3 weeks off and then not up to speed, so we could go and weigh them in. Yeah, but we all know how we're going to play on the weekend, and it's an early kickoff.
Look, the fact about it, right, is that
I'm worried about the weekend. I'll be honest.
An Arsenal fan should be worried about the weekend.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I don't know how you two do it. I swear down, it's fucking boring.
Lee, I told you off camera, and I told you when we did the fan cam yesterday.
Boring.
The minute the goose pimples don't come my arm, it's over for me. If I don't goose pimples at match day, if I'm not annoying my youngest daughter, I'm not annoying my wife with prioritising football, then it's over. My love for the game is gone.
Yeah, I'll keep telling you guys, stop going, man. Fuck this love. But
Mate, if we win in May, I'm cool. If we don't win in May, and I'm talking league, that is Champions League would be unbelievable. I'm talking
we ain't
league.
winning the champs, but
I don't think we win the chains, but I still think
we
can win this league. But it's gonna be like it's not gonna be convincing. It'll be stumbling over it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to do. But look, let's get out of here, people. Guns, you got your show. I'm gonna redirect, so make sure you stay and go and show Lee some love over there. Big up to Kenny Ken. Make sure you follow him on social media. Any last words, Kenny, before we go?
Well, he's just got a fine for having his phone going off.
No. It was a mate. One thing I will say, right? Look, every day, enjoy the rest of the season. Buckle up. Enjoy. Embrace the fact that you're going to have heart palpitations. Embrace the fact that you're going to, go from 0 to 100. And also, just make sure that when the football's finished, if you want to cheer yourself up and you want some entertainment, a bit of pantomime, get yourself down to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and watch Tyson Fury come out of retirement.
For the third time.
For the third time. Big up, man. Big up to Kenny. Lee, big up to you. Make sure you stay tuned.
That's how far me on, man. It's been a minute as well.
Come on,
I appreciate
bro. Come on, bro. Nah, anytime, man. You know you're welcome on here. And go and show Lee some love. He's going live now. Make sure you're following tonight's sponsors, which is okjersey.com. We've got the code 12man, any shirt, any name, any number you want on it. So go and show them some love as well. We're going to get out of here, people, and go and show Lee some love. We'll see you next time. We're out.